Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Live from the Sword Coast podcast. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly Dungeon Master for this evening. We have a full group this evening, both in person here and an echo from someone.
That's probably coming from me.
Feedback, back. Nice. So sorry, as I was saying, we have a full house this evening, and tonight we are playing the first session of Star Wars Force and Destiny and Star Wars Edge of the Empire and Star Wars Age of Rebellion, all published by Fantasy Flight Studios. With us in person, we have a regular fixture of the Live from the Sword Coast podcast, Steve-O.
Yo, how you doing?
And a new fixture, so this is Oren.
Howdy.
And playing at home, we have, let's go through our regulars right now, Jeffrey.
Hello, everyone.
And Brent.
Hey.
Brent, it's nice of you to come in from apparently the pits of hell.
I'm coming in from Tartarus. Well, actually, not really. I'm coming from Winnipeg, Canada, which is more like the frozen opposite.
Did you?
Playing a Jedi named Dash. Or
Okay.
someone who will be a Jedi. He doesn't really have much in the way of Force stuff right now.
Yeah. And then our final player tonight is Corey.
Hello. I'm playing Vendry the Spy, and yeah, let's kick some butt.
Nice. So our heroes this evening or I should say the setup for tonight's session is that this takes place several months after the Battle of Yavin. So the rebellion scored an early success, or rather not an early success, but its really first significant success by destroying the super weapon, super battle station, the Death Star. This picks up roughly about 3 or 4 months afterwards when the iron fist of the Empire has come down hard on the rebels, and any hint of rebellion or rebellion sympathies is being brutally suppressed by the Empire. Our players, or rather,
At my door. I'll be right back.
sure, our
It's the Empire right now.
yeah, Brent. Oh my God! Don't answer. It's stormtroopers. Brent really shouldn't have said he was playing a Jedi, I guess. On the plus side, he does get to see snowtroopers because it is in Winnipeg.
Another good time to be a Jedi.
Yeah. So our the characters this evening are a motley mix of characters, I suppose, that in the true sense of the word. We have a male Twi'lek bounty hunter named Oscar.
Oscar, yeah. Oscar, that's right.
Oscar. We have a rebel soldier, originally from Alderaan. That is that's Oscar, and Kale is the Alderaani soldier. We have a modified or specialized 2-1B medical droid. Who, Jeff? Do you want to give a little background about Oddball?
Sure. ODD-1B was a 2-1B surgical droid that was modified by the Empire to be an ordnance disposal droid. He was actually constructed to work on the original Death Star, which was where he was stationed until an incident that maybe we'll get to at some point, either gameplay or whatever, and as such, he has fled the Empire and is now a saboteur engineer acting for the rebellion against the Empire.
So,
Oh, hey, Jeff, this goes back to Clerks.
this is what kind of what Oddball looks like.
Guys, awesome.
And so when Jeff and I were creating Oddball, one of the things we'd come up with is, do you remember in A New Hope when that guy comes up to Tarkin and is like, sir, we've looked at the plans and we may have a problem here. Jeff's guy is one of the ones who found out that there was this problem.
Yeah, he was working on the team that found the problem with the Death Star.
And while Tarkin felt that that guy was overestimating their chances, Oddball did not. So Oddball got the fuck off the Death Star before it went kablooey.
Cool.
Brent, you are playing
I have a question for Jeff, and I'm sorry it's slightly off topic, but having been an avid fan of Clerks, and goes way back, Jeff, was your character a unionized member of the Death Star? Or a member? Does that have something to do with him being on the lam?
They won't let the droids join the Union, Brent.
I'm guessing that Palpatine is probably less of a fan of the less of a fan of the Unions than he is even the Jedi.
Yeah, with the Sith death grip, I don't see it going well for Union leaders in particular.
Oh, the 67 wiped out the Union.
Yeah, really. Okay, so Brent, you're playing a character named.
I am playing a character named Dash Vega Riggs.
Oh, I see. So one of our other players is poking his head in.
Turn the camera a bit.
The street photo bomb there would be Dave.
Hi, folks. Hi, Kev.
Hello. Hey, Dave. Dave, this is Oren. Oren, meet Dave.
A pleasure.
So, Dave, for tonight, do you mind playing Pash?
No, as a matter of fact, I think I made the decision that I'm actually going, if it's all right with you, I'm going to stick with Pash.
Heck yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. I like that.
Awesome. Okay, so the Brent, sorry, you were going to tell us what your character's name is and what his sort of shtick is.
My character's name is Dash Vega Riggs. He's originally from Corellia. He spent most of his youth on as a street kid until he was taken on as a Padawan to a Jedi Shadow prior to Order 66, and then things went haywire after that.
Brent, sorry, Brent, you asked me in an email earlier today, and I didn't get a chance to get back to you. Order 66 happened roughly 19 years before where we are right now.
Okay, so it would have been after that. So he went to the surviving Jedi who survived with a little help due to his skills as a Shadow. Came across my character and taught him in the ways of the Force to some extent. And
his master did as well.
Right. And where are we right now?
Right now, well, you are in your living room. We're just doing intros, and I'm going to set up where we start in a moment.
So my character's found to himself to whatever locale that we are currently in.
Yeah, and just for context for everyone too, and this is sorry for the players, we're at a point right now where the Jedi are completely any real reference to them is at best of like, oh yeah, that's a thing, kind of like yeah, like I mean, I can't think of a real world comparator, but it's just like
Zoroastrians.
Well, Zoroastrians is a little too distant because that's thousands of years. I'm trying to think of something from the, what do you call it? Maybe like Vietnam draft dodgers would be sort of a parallel. If you're like, oh yeah, that was a thing. Like no one really gives a shit about it. No one really thinks about it anymore. If you do hear about Jedi, it's kind of like, oh, that hokey religions and whatever is the sort of general association with it. Similarly, like there are whole billions and billions of people who have gone their entire lives without ever seeing a lightsaber. It's just not something that is, most people wouldn't recognize it, and I don't think that in the public consciousness it's something that they automatically associate with the Jedi either. That's how effective that the Empire's sort of purge of Jedi knowledge has been. And we'll get into that in a moment. The reason I mention that is because Brent's character, my son is also playing in this campaign. He's unfortunately at work tonight, so he can't be here. both are playing sort of either aspiring Jedi or former Jedi in training, neither of which are starting with lightsabers, though. So, and then Dave, I've actually got your. Do you have your character sheet, or do you have a version of it?
Yeah, I've actually got the one which I played last with you, Kev.
Yeah, so we'll just use that for now. So, Dave, I'll hold up the picture here for everyone. And why don't you tell us about Pash?
Well, Pash is a human smuggler. Last we saw him, he had basically escaped. He's generally a man about town and good with the ladies.
And you guys had this would have happened a little while ago. What I'm going to say is there's a bit. Well, actually, first let's do the intro for Cork for Vendry.
Yeah, I'm playing Vendry, the Duros spy. I am aligned with the rebellion, although I don't really tell anyone that. And basically, I was a wanderer and like a landscape holographer before, and then the Empire started really clamping down on my homeworld and species, and I got sick of it and went off to and I eventually joined up with the rebellion. Is that still kosher with the campaign?
Absolutely, yeah. And this is what the Duros look like for those not familiar. They're the little guy in the back of the spacer guys on the back of the Mos Eisley Cantina. Duros are also one of the first races to obtain hyperspace technology. So they have, Vendry carries on a long and proud tradition of kind of going to places that they're not from. So let's see here. So Oscara, what happened is sort of in the previous session is Oscara and or Oscar, I guess. I don't want to call him Oscar because I'm going to call him fucking Oscar.
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 Right.
Okay. I mean, really, it's a fucking
cool.
Twi'lek name anyway.
Yeah,
so if it's okay with you,
it's all right.
okay. So Oscara and what's his name? Pash escaped from a small town in Tatooine called Mos Shuta, where a Hutt named Timo the Hutt had basically enslaved both of them, or at least had them in indentured servitude. Through some trickery and some gunplay, with the assistance of a burly Wookiee named Lorik, the two of them made their escape in a captured vessel called the Krayt Fang. The Krayt Fang is a YT-1300, which you may recognize as being the Millennium Falcon. So this is you guys effected your escape, and in the interim, at some point you met up with a guy who's a Duros kind of shifty, scoundrel type, I guess, named Vendry, who sort of, in the course of the adventures you had with him, you guys became associated with the Rebel Alliance. So, which is where you met up with both. Sorry, Brent. What's your character's name again?
Dash.
Dash. Right.
Yeah, I often recruit people as much as I can, or look for assets for the rebellion that would be beneficial to them.
Nice. So maybe, and you know what, playing with your what Corey had said last session too is if you want to picture sort of I guess his mannerisms and whatnot, you said Benedict Cumberbatch in a Duros mask.
Yeah. Like it's a rubber mask most likely, but it's got CGI on top of it, so the mouth is really good lip syncing.
Nice. Corey incidentally works in CGs professionally, so.
And I would not want to work on those shots.
Emmy, hey, knock it off. Settle down. Emmy is playing the role of Rancor Monster.
Yes.
Come here. Come on up, honey. Come on. Okay, so what happened is you sort of, given your mischievous ways and whatnot, you maybe like convinced them to do a job, and it wasn't until it was about 3/4 of the way into it that you realized that Oskara and Pash realized, like, we're working for the rebellion right now, aren't we?
Yeah.
You know, and that's where you met Kale. Kale is actually Oren. Why don't you go ahead and give an intro for
Yeah,
Kale?
well, I'm like the hotshot sports guy or I was on Alderaan. What is the Limmy? I was a Limmy player, so I was kind of like the Michael Jordan of Alderaan, and that life kind of ended, obviously, for fairly obvious reasons. So now I'm just kind of, I guess I'm kind of drifting around. I kind of joined up with the rebellion as like, what else are you gonna do? I already had kind of anti-imperial sentiments, and I was like, well, we can't overthrow the empire with the same tactics that they've been using to, rise to power, do all these horrible things. And now I'm kind of more on the meet violence with violence end of the spectrum.
It actually, you know what? It would have been relatively recently that it became apparent that Princess Leia was actually a part of the rebellion. Because it wasn't up until the Battle of Yavin that she was a member of the Imperial Senate up until then. Just before the destruction is when they dissolved the Imperial Senate and they set up this is part of the clamping down that's going on in across the galaxy right now, is that all power, what was at least a on its face elected assembly that had some kind of role in the government, that's gone. The entire galaxy is ruled by regional Moffs now. So like Grand Moff Tarkin, now he's Atoms, but I mean, I guess technically before he was Atoms as well. He's just very, very separated Atoms now. So the galaxy is a very, very dark place right now. But after the destruction of Alderaan, you did find someone who you could actually rally behind. So that's where we are right now. Is you guys are sort of, the rebellion is in a bit of a fighting or scrambling retreat right now. They did score a success at the Battle of Yavin, but they basically afterwards had to pick up and get the fuck out of there. This is 3 years or so before the events of Empire Strikes Back. So right now the Rebel Alliance is essentially a bunch of ships that are on the run trying to stay off the hyperspace charts. There are a couple sort of neutral planets or rebellion supporting planets, but they can't effectively serve as headquarters for the Alliance because as soon as they do, the full force of the Imperial might will come down on them. So the reason I mention that is because the rebellion at this stage is working through relatively small groups. It's autonomous groups that sort of have to make do with what they've got and make do with what they can.
Hey, Kev.
Yeah, go ahead, Brent.
Sorry, I'm just a bit ignorant about Star Wars, but wasn't the Mon Calamari race in their homeworld like building ships and sort of like very active?
Yeah, but that's not they are independent right now, and they're one of the worlds that I mentioned that they've thrown their support behind it. But if they became the home of like the home base from it, then it would become the focal point if they for the entire might of the Empire to go in. They had been surreptitiously supporting the Alliance. They have pushed the Imperial forces out of Mon Cala, and they sort of like not mind, but what they do is to like one of the things that makes going through hyperspace not like crop dusting is because you have to navigate past these gravity wells. And what you do to get people to basically stop people from traveling into your area or past your space is you set up basically fake gravity wells. They're interdiction ships. So that's what Mon Calamari has done, is they've set up sort of a blockade. But that, so long as the Empire is occupied with a bunch of other things, that's not a problem. As soon as the Empire finds one place, like you think of how many Star Destroyers were deployed to Hoth, or to the Hoth system once they found out that that's where the leadership was. That's what would happen to Mon Calamari. So you're right that Mon or DACA is part of the Rebel Alliance right now. They're really more of an independent system that throws some help their way if they can.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Sorry, it was just sort of off topic, but sort of.
Okay. It was absolutely off topic, and you will pay for that. No,
I'm already missing those 15 experience points.
Yeah.
You take 2 strain.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn it!
The irritating the DM string. Okay, so guys, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So it is a dark time in the galaxy. Although the brave heroes of the Rebel Alliance fight against the tyranny of the Galactic Empire, countless worlds still tremble under the shadow of evil. The Jedi, guardians of order and justice, are gone. And at their passing, the forces of darkness gather unimpeded. But all is not lost. In a distant corner of the galaxy, a small band of adventurers seeks to rediscover the legacy of the Jedi. If they are successful, perhaps hope can be restored to the galaxy once again. And our camera kind of pans down to this ochre-colored disc, essentially, flying through the endless void of space. The disc, of course, has a slight wedge taken out of the front, which is... I was trying to find the map for it, guys, but I fucking lost it again. Someone managed to lose something in the span of about 4... Oh, no, here it is. So, for those who either were not there last session or who do not remember, this is the Krayt Fang. Now, the benefit of the Krayt Fang is that these things are quite sturdy and quite modifiable, the YT-1300s. The downside is the previous owner was a Trandoshan slaver. So it smells like, you know, what you would expect the inside of a lizard's cage to smell like. The lot of you, so on board our vessel are the stalwart members of the Rebel Alliance, or some of the members of the Rebel Alliance. What you guys have been tasked with is going to a planet called Taris, T-A-R-I-S. Taris, you have been tasked to go here by Princess Leia herself, by the last remnants of the Royal House of Alderaan, and one of the key leaders or key members of the Rebel Alliance. One of the things that has captured the popular imagination of the galaxy, or at least the galaxy that feels the weight of the yoke of the Empire, is that some young, from the middle of nowhere kid who purports to be a Jedi blew up the Death Star on his own with a shot that was 1 in a million.
I heard it was his birthday too.
Yeah, exactly. So what both, I guess, I don't know what his rank is right now, Commander, Captain Skywalker, whatever his rank is. The fact that that seems to be one thing, like one person stood up against the most powerful weapon in the galaxy, has captured their imagination. Members of sort of the propaganda wing of or morale, depending on how you want to spin it, wing of the Rebel Alliance, they feel that trying to promote and learn as much as you can about the Jedi, would be beneficial. At this point, kind of anything that would oppose the Empire is almost okay with fair game. And Captain Skywalker obviously has a vested interest in finding something. So, what Princess Leia has told you guys is that there is an old friend of her father's, a guy named Lor San Tekka. Lor San Tekka is a kind of a, basically if you kind of crossed a university professor with a vagabond, that's sort of what you would get. He's this, apparently this guy who travels all over the place, but he is one of the most articulate and educated individuals that you'll meet. He is at present in hiding on the planet Taris. Can I ask you guys to make, please, we'll kick off the rolling right away. Does everyone have either dice or the link to the rolling thing?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So what I'd like you guys to do is please roll a lore core worlds, please. You guys will only have lore in the baseline. So, and the difficulty of that is going to be a 2, please. So 2 purples.
So my character sheet doesn't say lore at all on it.
Sweet. Your character sheet, Corks. Wait, are you looking at the pre-made one or the one I sent you?
Oh, I'm looking at the pre-made one.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one I sent you is built according to the full rules.
Okay.
It's not as pretty. Oh, and speaking of which, guys, Brent has very, very kindly offered to be doing the tasks that I normally do with updating the fucking character sheets and whatever, and keeping the kind of campaign document. Brent has offered to do that for me, or for all of us, I should say. So Brent is going to be proudly carrying the title of Keeper of the Holocron, and Brent will also be gaining 5 extra XP every session for doing that. If you guys have something similar that you'd like to do to contribute to this campaign or contribute to the sessions, I'm happy to talk to you about that, and I'm happy to throw XP your way as well. So.
I'm trying to find the mail that has my character sheet on it, and
oh, sure. I can tell you. Yours would have been sent, I think, last weekend.
Yes.
Actually, it might have been right afterwards.
Wow.
Gotcha.
I had a really good chance at this, and I failed.
is there any chance someone could resend this to me?
Yeah, Cork, I'm just going to try and find it here.
Sorry about that. I didn't even know that I was looking out for that. Wait,
Wait, is it it's called
I might have found it.
Until We Return to a Galaxy Far, Far Away? That one?
Age of Rebellion Vendry?
Those cancel each other out.
It is. Let me see here.
You get 0.
Oh,
No.
Here it is. Cork, it was sent on January 4th. It says 2 rebels join the fight is the subject line.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm resending it to you right now.
All right. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Email, so the Gmail or the Hotmail account?
Doesn't matter. Either one is good.
Okay, done and done. I think I sent it to both, actually. Okay, how'd you get?
You got 0.
Nada, okay.
1 advantage, 1 fail.
1 advantage, 1 fail. Okay, so basically you, yeah, in your inaccuracy, we'll play that in.
All right.
How the rest of you guys do?
Brent, 1 success.
Okay. And Pat.
Because I'm just working off not the full sheet.
Just lore.
Knowledge.
He's got lore on there. I think you guys have. Where is it? Oh, knowledge. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, so I did use knowledge. I got 2 successes and 2 threats.
2 threats. Okay. Okay. So, and Cork, did you find your character?
I got the character. I'm just trying to open up this Doc X.
Okay.
And I will. If you want to start without me, I'll fail the result.
Okay. Okay. What you guys know about Terrace is that at some there are a number of planets that are called ecumenopolises. There's probably an easier way to say that, but what it means is city planets. Like Coruscant is one of those where the entire city is a massive built-up planet with layers and layers and layers of sub-city beneath it. Ariadu is another one. Terrace was one at one point, but it's kind of an exercise or a example of what can happen if war comes to an ecumenopolis. Ecumenopolis? It's probably an easier way to say it. Ecumenopolis? They're trying to be clever with it. Like, it's like city but world together into a portmanteau. And I'm like, all right, well, but it's a really fucking cumbersome one, so that's not really helpful. So anyway, it's a world city. I'm just going to say that from now on because it's easier. Terrace was, what you guys know is that Terrace was a world city at one point. But thousands of years ago, it experienced some kind of cataclysm that from which it has not recovered. Did anyone, you rolled an advantage, right? So what you know then is that what you're able to contribute to this is once you hear what everyone else had to say about Terrace, you're like, there's some serious bounties for swoop racers there, because swoop racing is essentially like kind of like really souped up versions of the speeder bikes from Jedi. There's swoop races and Brent, how many successes? Oh, Dave, you got a bunch, right?
No, I actually got disadvantages.
You got 2
I
successes.
don't know him.
I got threats as well. I got 2 threats is what I got.
Threats.
Where's this lore on my character sheet?
Lore will be in the on the cave. You're looking at it. There's 2 columns on the right-hand side. There.
I see it now.
Yep, and then on the bottom there, the top one is your combat ones, your skills, and then just below that is another block that has your different lores. One of those lores is lore core worlds.
Core worlds. I got 3 green, so I just roll that.
Yeah, 3 greens and 2 purples.
And 2 purples.
It's an average difficulty.
I've got a failure and a advantage.
Okay. Okay, so what you know is that there's swoop racing and whatnot, and apparently through the bowels of this world city, they used to race these things, and in fact this is purported to be the place where swoop racing began. Swoop racing is kind of like a less embarrassing version of pod racing. I guess swoop racing would be like the F1 to pod racing's NASCAR. Dave, so Pash, unfortunately, he knows that what he calls that an awful lot about Terrace, because remember in your backstory how you were a great pilot and kind of a wash-up and whatnot at different points. Yeah. So you may have caused as perhaps the crippling of and significant financial damage to a Terrace swoop racing team while you were living on Alderaan.
Oh, that's lovely.
So when you hear you're going there, you're like, oh, this can't be good.
Do you know the name of the team, Cal?
Over here, please. Okay. Yeah, just, if you're gonna pour it, do it over there. So it's because it's wood and I don't want.
Is anyone else having trouble seeing your video, Kevin?
I don't know. You guys?
No, we're good.
Okay.
Thanks, Steve.
Not bad. It's a little pixelated at times, but
yeah, it's
mostly pretty good.
For mine, I think.
Hey, how about Terrace?
Sorry?
How'd you spell Terrace?
T-A-R-I-S.
Yeah.
Oh, we just lost Cork. Hold up. Get Cork back. Nice. Yeah, it's fucking warm up here. Okay. Hey, there's Cork.
Yep.
So, what you're supposed to do is you are to arrive there. You are to rent speeders, go into the kind of the depths of Terrace, where you will be using your droid. You will be provided a location once you reach a certain location. Then go there, and Lord Santeca is supposed to meet you. He has something that Princess Leia trusts will be important to the rebellion and the rebel effort. So, you guys have plenty of time. One of the things you do also know about Terrace is that where at least the part of the city that part of the world that you'll be landing on is not by any means. It makes Mos Eisley look like a rigorous police state. So you can feel free to bring whatever weapons and whatever else that you want. It's kind of it's a rougher seedy report. You guys, we cut back to the ship entering into the Terrace atmosphere. I'm trying to think if I've got a picture of Terrace. I don't think I do. I do not. Terrace is a sort of, if you picture what Coruscant looks like with the spiral, the kind of spider web of lights that sort of trace their way across the whole orb of the planet. This is kind of like something like that where large swaths of it have burned out. As you come in, it's daytime, and you can see that where the surface of Coruscant is a glistening. Well, it depending on I guess what period. In this period, it would be a sterile, like almost stainless steel looking skyline. Which gives it kind of hides the depth of to which that the city itself sinks. This gives you a really clear indication because there are massive gashes and wounds in it that show just how far down that the city actually stretches. What you can tell from the sort of overbuilding is that this is the result of damage from thousands of, or at least from a very, very long time ago. Because people have sort of rebuilt around these things, treating them as like sinkholes into the city itself, rather than trying to rebuild back up. The skyline itself too kind of looks like fractured clamshells all turned on its side. Terrace has a very distinctive kind of curved and angular design, at least the rebuilt parts do. One other unusual thing you can see too is that there are whole swaths of green where nature has retaken, notwithstanding the fact that it is still a massive city encasing a world. There are bits of it. If you picture abandoned cities here or ghost towns, there are whole swaths of that are like that, but overgrown for hundreds and hundreds of miles.
It's like a big Detroit.
Say again?
Cloud Atlas?
Detroit.
It's kind of like Detroit, or like if you. My favorite example is the what do you call it? The pictures of the was it the not the Sochi, the Kosovo Olympic Stadium. It's just all overgrown and worn. It still has those nice smooth lines and stuff like that that a lot of the that the Olympic Stadium had at one point, but it's completely reclaimed by nature. So you guys come. Or the crate fan comes down and lands on this platform. As you guys disembark, you can look at your character sheet, see what you want to take with you. And as you guys are coming off, there is a tubby little kind of like brownish blue colored thing that's sort of floating along and flapping its wings as you guys are disembarking, and this thing speaks Basic and says, "Hey, you can't just park here. This is owned by people." What do you guys say? This creature, incidentally, is a Toydarian.
All right. I'm just going to
We're not
stand back, and just like look the other way.
Okay. So Vendry is hanging in the background. Pash and you're the kind of the captain, I guess, right now. So it's you and a Scar. As you guys tell me, who's taking the lead here?
Go for it, Captain.
All right. Well, I guess it'll be Pash then.
Okay.
So, what does he want to know?
You're landing on my property.
Well, I know how much. I know how much money means to you. So, how much will it take for us to sit here for a bit?
Hey, what do you? Wait.
That was a bit racist.
Pash, is that you?
I'm Pash's twin brother, Dash.
Why don't you go ahead and make a deceit check for me, please? That will be an average check, but I'm giving you 2 blacks for that.
Nice.
Damn it.
Dash, by the way, kind of scowls at him.
2 blacks, eh?
Yeah.
Which check? Deception?
It is, yes, deception against 2 purples.
Oh, well, 1 success.
No. So what do you say?
Look, I think you're mistaking me for someone else.
Oh, you incidentally remember who this is too. You were dreading landing on back on Terrace because of how things work with that race team. Yeah, this is actually that race team's chief mechanic, Balco. He also happens to be their chief saboteur as well. So it's like, you, Pash, I got 3 wrecked Flare S's, and I got a Weequay pilot who will never walk the same. You owe me big.
Look, honestly, Falco, for all we know, that could have been you. That could have been you that caused all that damage.
Hey, you're trying to tell me I don't know when a crash is going to happen? I know when crashes happen.
Well, maybe your hand zigged when it should have zagged. Look, there's no point in arguing over this. We've got some business here. I just need you to camp us out for, like, 24 hours.
24 hours. Well, it's around. I don't know where you think you are. This ain't any kind of walking around place. This look like a pedestrian's paradise. You got to get somewhere to get yourself around. I don't know why his accent keeps shifting too, but
I like it.
That's from Boston.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Valco, you're absolutely right. We will need a way to get around. So, do you have any swoop races for us?
You're not worried about me having any kind of hands going the wrong way?
Well, I know that you know that I owe you, so if I disappear, well, someone's just not collecting, are they?
Well, let's see. He kind of looks over your ship. Like, I don't know who you conned this out of, but they got the best of that deal.
That's hurtful, Baco.
24 hours, eh?
Pops.
Whatever your business is here, it ain't racing.
Well, I can't promise that at this point. But what I can promise is that if it is, I'm making you money off of it.
His little proboscis is kind of shaking back and forth. Ah, I do like money, but I don't like you. You're fortunate that I like money more. I'll tell you what, you give me the launch codes for this thing, he points at the crate Fang, and I'll set you boys up with something to get you around. Something that's got a little pep to it. And he kind of pops up in the air and then floats back down again.
Just a sidebar, Kev. If I give him the launch codes for it, it's gone, isn't it?
Well, you know what? Why don't you make a perception against one red and 2 purples. Actually, sorry, make that 2 reds and 1 purple.
I'm gonna have a little side discussion with Oddball.
Yep.
And just quietly say, should we just stuff this guy in those security cells?
No, don't worry. I'll do something to the ship so that he can't take it.
That's 2 successes and 1 advantage.
Nice. Jesus. Yeah. He doesn't have. So he's essentially hoping that you're going to die down there, but you get the sense that he is telling the truth. That he's not going to just make off. He's a fucking scoundrel, but he's a scoundrel who has a little bit of begrudging respect for you. You think?
Okay. You know what? I think at this point, I will actually confer with the rest of the group and see what they think about it.
Okay. So what do you guys think?
I like the idea of doing some some little tweaks so that it would be difficult for him to take off and maybe make it look like something's not working. Ideally, something that we could hook back up again without.
Honestly, on the Crate Fang, that won't be hard.
Oddball suggests, he says, just give me 1 minute, and he heads off into, like, the engine part area or whatever.
Okay, so as you go, lumbering up the gangplank or whatever, Balco kind of floats in and says to Pash, he kind of motions with his little paw for you to come over.
Yeah, what is it, Malcolm?
He comes over and he puts he's still flapping his wings, and he kind of puts his hand on your shoulder and he says, should I be concerned that you're bringing a surgical droid with you?
I like to be prepared.
I'm going to loan you these things, but they better come back in one piece or close to it.
I swear it. Or you can keep the medical droid.
Keep the medical droid? What am I, opening a surgical clinic here? Ugh. He kind of throws his hands up and he starts flapping his way back towards. There's a bunch of waiting kind of Weequay who are clearly part of his mechanics, I guess, or crew. One of which, incidentally, is limping pretty pronounced. With a pretty pronounced limp. I don't know if you guys remember. Weequay are those kind of like prune-faced guys from Jedi. So it's very difficult to tell if the Weequay is scowling at you, Pash, or if that's just his face. But you guess that he remembers you as well. Jeff, so Oddball is going to, here's what I'm going to say is, whatever difficulty you want to set it for the person to fix whatever your sort of jury rigging, that's what you roll against. Mechanics.
Okay. I'll roll against, what's 3?
3 is 3 purples.
Okay, yeah. I'll roll against 3.
Okay, I'm going to give you 1 blue as well, just because it's it would be easier for you to sort of set up the failure rather than to find out what's wrong.
Okay, I got, holy crap, 2 successes and 3 threats.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
So you head down into where, remember so a couple sessions ago you guys had got that hypermatter, what was it, the hyperpulse matter injector, and installed it on the thing. It's been sort of making a rattling sound since you had installed it. So you get down to sort of the engine of the Crate Fang, and you sort of like look around. You see that, you're like, So you kind of tweak it, you pull it, and there's this shower of sparks that flies about 4 feet in the air. You look back, and you're like, well, it's not going anywhere. You make your way out, you come back out, everyone kind of turns and looks at you, and what do you say?
I just say, don't worry, no one's taking our ship anywhere.
You know what'd be great? Is if you came down and just went, wink.
Yeah. His red eye goes red, gray for a second.
Yeah. Okay, so Balco says, all right, you have, he says, well, here's what I got you to choose from. There's so many of you, but I got 1 airspeeder that can fit everyone, or I can give you 5 swoops. Swoops are like kind of jacked up speeder bikes.
Swoops?
Yeah.
Do they have guns on them?
They do not. Did you ask them?
Yeah.
He's like, no. He looks down at your the blaster at your side and he says, not everyone answers with shoot it first.
Swoops it is.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Kev.
Yeah.
I'll send the medical droid over to patch up the Weequay.
Oh, incidentally, okay, so Oddball's name comes from his designation. He was a 2-1B droid When he was repurposed, he became an ODD droid, so Ordnance Disposal Droid 1B. But everyone's kind of started calling him Oddball, like either Odd One or Oddball. He incidentally hates being called Oddball, and if you call him Oddball, he will give you a nickname too. You liked Jeff being called what?
Odd. Just odd.
But I'm assuming that you all call him Oddball because that's what everyone calls him. So it does give Jeff an opportunity to give you all nicknames too. So, you guys, what do you call it? You guys make your way over, and the swoops are a Flare S model. Basically, they can hover a little bit higher. I'm trying to think if I got a picture of one. Oh. They can hover a little higher than what the speeder bikes can. The speeder bikes from Return of the Jedi are a Z74 Aerotech model, and these ones are much shorter than it, but they've got a bit more powerful of an engine. So that right there.
Right. I remember from Shadows of the Empire.
Oh yeah. So, and here is it's the one that's not the Z74.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys all straddle onto those things. Does everyone have at least one green in piloting?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
You want to do here? I'm going to get everyone roll piloting against an easy, against a one purple.
One purple.
Come on.
Kev, this would be piloting planetary?
Yes, piloting planetary.
2 successes, 1 advantage.
3 successes, no advantage.
No threat, 1 success.
No threat. Okay.
I was born to ride. 1 triumph, 4 successes, and an
1
advantage.
triumph.
Nice.
Sweet. That's awesome. So as you guys are sort of getting onto them, sorry, how did you guys do? Brent and Dave?
3 successes for Pash, or for Dash, and
4 successes for Pash.
Okay.
2
successes,
1
for Odd.
advantage for Vendry.
Nice. Okay. And
Odd had 2 successes.
nice. Okay, so everyone, Steve actually got a triumph in it. So, Oscara, you sit on this thing and you kind of fire it up, and
I've ridden these before.
yeah, Balco is like, this may be a little more machine than what you're used to, and you're like, well, actually, hold on, you get more power if you do this, and he hits something down, and Oscara's like, guys, do this. So basically, all of you guys will get effectively treat these things as having 1 handling higher until you return them. So Balco kind of like, she looks as sheepish as a Toydarian can, is like, well, it just wastes more of the fuel that way, but it's your money, my shit. And he turns to Pash, says, and it's my ship if you don't come back. Now, you got 24 hours, or I'm selling this thing for parts. And he points back at the crate fang.
Well, look, if I don't come back, I won't need that thing, so...
Yeah. It's a good point. Tell me, you should, you guys, so where is it you guys are going?
Where is it that we are going, guys?
Down.
sing the sights.
The sights.
Tourism.
Yeah. Pretty young thing like you, sites will love that. You just guys, he turns it back to you, Pash, and says, you just better watch out for the rock ghouls. You don't go too far down, you won't come back. Who got advantage on their core worlds check? Did anyone? Oh, you did.
I got an advantage.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so you didn't know anything about Terrace itself, but you've heard of rat ghouls. Rat ghouls are kind of like a legend from like way in the past, sort of like like Bogans or whatever else. Rat ghouls were supposed to be some kind of horror that would kind of like vampires, where if it bites you, it fucking it's like a plague that actively goes out and tries to kill. You know, so you hadn't heard of this, but you turn a slightly like lighter shade of green when Balco says this, and he's like, "Oh, so it's not just swoops, you know. You be careful, Pash, or maybe don't, because it is mine." And his little tentacle or proboscis is shaking. Hope you don't come back.
Hey, keep your hands off of it.
What do you call it? Actually, why don't you guys all make perception checks for me, please, against one red and one purple. I'm not interested in threats. I'm just interested in successes.
How about advantage?
That I don't care about either.
I just got one of triumphs.
Go, triumphs I care about, yeah.
Okay.
Triumph, failure, 2 threats. And it's 1 threat, 1 triumph, and a failure.
Success as well.
Yeah. So Dash got 1 success, 1 triumph, and 1 disadvantage. I don't know how to compare triumphs to disadvantage.
Triumph always counts as a success plus something awesome happens.
Okay.
Okay, so did anyone else get a triumph?
No.
No. Okay, so Oscara and Dash, both of you guys notice that limping Weequay seems to be keeping a real kind of as shifty as like Weequays look shifty at the best of times anyway. This one seems even more surreptitious and seems to be glaring at Pash. You guys also, both of you, look over and you think you see as Pash sort of revs the repulsor lift engine in his speeder and is about to sort of peel off. There's something that's rattling really fucking loose on it.
Kev, I don't know that I mentioned it, but I actually got 1 failure and 1 threat.
You don't
okay.
Not supposed to advertise those.
Okay, so both of you guys see this, and the Pash is like, you know, kind of, what's your last sort of smart-ass thing to, what do you call it, to Balco?
I'll yell out to him, and if you end up driving it, fill it up, will ya?
Okay, and you go off. So both of you sort of see this, like, is rattling, and all the limping Weequay and 2 of the other ones are kind of like, you know.
Okay.
So what do you guys do?
Maybe I'll tear him after.
Like Pash stop.
Well, if he's Pash is has you know, 2 modes on any vehicle he's driving: stopped and as fast as it can fucking go.
But we have comm links, right?
You do, yeah. You're
Okay,
seeing.
I'll try and tell them that over the comm link.
Remember, your comm link, Brent, is a thing like 3PO carried around in what do you call it? Empire. So Pash is well ahead. What are you guys doing?
I'll try and catch up to him.
Okay.
As you could do. Yeah.
So here's what I need you to do: is you guys are going to make a contested piloting thing against against Pash.
Okay.
So the rest of you kind of see, you know, Pash is kind of off and taking the lead. Oscara and Dash are both yelling out, "No, wait!" And then vroom, they go zipping after, leaving the rest of you sort of sitting on your bikes. What are you guys doing?
I'm rolling 3 greens then.
Sorry, Steve? Bork?
I'm rolling piloting against what?
Well, no, you guys are still up on the sort of landing platform. Because Oscara and Brent's character, I'm just going to do that for right now because it's too confusing. So because Brent's character and Oscara saw the sort of a loose, you know, bit of it before Pash went, you know, zipping off, they got a chance to sort of take a quick lead or to take off after him, saying, "No, wait!" But you guys sort of like were, you know, getting yourself acquainted with your bikes, and then you heard the 2 of them go, "No, hold on!" and they took off.
Well,
So
I'm nervous about getting left behind on this weird planet, so I'd take right off that.
okay, so Kale's gone. Vendry and Oddball.
I am going to just follow.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Oddball's just following.
Okay. So Pash, please make a piloting check. Just the piloting check. I'm gonna say you're at medium range right now. And then you guys are going to also, same thing, just make just your piloting, ground piloting, and let's see how many successes you get and how much advantage.
And it's with what am I rolling against?
You're rolling against, actually, you know what, everyone can do this. We'll let everyone get in on the fun. Everyone else is at long range right now. So I'm just going to set up the sort of flow chart here, Pash.
Okay, no difficulties?
No difficulties.
Piloting against what?
Just rolling for successes. Whoever gets more successes, they get to get further away.
Okay, I got 3 successes and 2 advantage.
Nice.
2 successes, 3 advantage.
Nice.
Two success, 2 advantage.
Okay. So hold on here. Let's see. Vendry, Kale, Oddball, Oscara, and Dash, and then Pash is up front. Okay.
Dash got 4 successes and 2 advantage.
Okay, guys. What I'm gonna when I call out for things, what I think I'll do is I'll just ask you to go in. Just remember who is before you. Okay. Brent, Dave, Corey, Jeff, Steve, Oren. Just remember who's before you for calling out the numbers, and then just call out once they have. You want me to go through that again?
Yeah.
I'm after Dave.
Dave, Corey, Jeff, Steve, Oren. That's how it's on my screen. So that's.
You actually forgot Brent.
That's okay.
I started with you. I said Brent, Dave.
Or maybe it didn't come through.
Oh.
Who
That's
comes
okay.
after me again?
I'll see on this is being recorded, so we'll see on these. But I'm pretty sure I started with Brent.
You did the first time, not the second time.
Oh, let's forget. I'm going to say it's because someone else was talking and made my video cut out. Did I say Brent? Yeah, I did. See?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so 4 successes and 2 advantage.
4 successes, 2 advantage. Okay.
2 successes, 1 advantage.
Nice. Okay.
3 successes, 2 advantage.
Okay.
4 successes.
Nice.
2 successes, 3 advantage.
Okay.
2 successes, 2 advantage.
Nice. Okay. So what happens is as you guys are sort of down into you roar out from the platform, and it's sort of there's a bit of a skyway that goes along, and then suddenly it kind of swoops down, and you guys are suddenly find yourself in these massive kind of feeder tubes that used to serve as expressways for getting around on Terrace. They're overgrown with vines and corrosion and so forth, and one of the reasons you can't use your comm links right now is because the howl of the engines is just amplified in here. There's no noise dampeners, there's no lights, so all of you sort of hit the things on. Pash, this is just, it's open road for you, so you're just... However, Dash, your, I guess, proto-Jedi reflexes are fast enough that you got on the juice just a little bit faster than what Oscara did. So you're rolling down, and you're kind of, just riding up, so you're about half a swoop length behind Pash. Pash, I'm going to say that you see that there behind you there's sort of a light coming up, and Oddball, of everyone, you probably look the oddest on, or the most unusual, particular, or peculiar, I should say, on these things. You've also managed to basically surge ahead of your colleagues, and you come up alongside Oscara, and you sort of like, point at the thing at the back. You're like, yeah, it's really working. So, Dash, you have come right up behind Pash, and you're getting close to kind of like rubbing up against the back of him. Pash, years of racing have kind of, I guess, honed your instincts. Just sort of like, look over your shoulder, and you can see that Dash is riding quite perilously close to you.
If I see him look back, I'll be like, pull over.
Okay.
wave at or motion at him.
What do you do?
Me?
Yeah.
I'll look back at Dash, and interpret it as if he wants to race. So I'll signal to him that doing the kind of revving the bike signal, and then go, and then I'll just book it.
Okay.
It's going to end worse for you than it is for me. My speeder's not broken.
Dash, you can see from behind as he sort of hits it. There's like a stream of sparks that come out from the bottom of his what do you call it? The bottom of his swoop, and it goes just boom and lurches forward. Dash, what you don't know, Pash, what you don't know is that you have no brakes.
Oh shit.
So, next round, everyone, let's make another piloting check. Pash, because of your sabotaged speeder, you're getting 2 blues with this.
Oh.
Just so you guys know, every two successes puts you ahead 1 length. So because you guys tied with everyone else. Oh, Vendry, you're about halfway there now. You're sort of between where Kale, who's at sort of the back, and Kale, then Vendry, then Oscara and Oddball, and then Pash and Dash at the front. Now, before you guys roll, do you want to give me a particularly cool description of what you're doing to try and get a blue? We'll go in the same order here. Brent, do you have something neat you're going to try and do?
Yeah, when I'm close to him, before he jettisons and he sort of notices me and goes to motion to race, I'm going to try and smack into his speeder to, like, signal him to, like, something's wrong, don't race.
What is that maneuver? The pit maneuver? I don't know if that works in where the cops hit from the behind.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a bump or, like, hopefully, like, a little side nudge to, like, hey, something's going on, to sort of, like, distract him and realize that we're not just racing.
Sure, okay. He also made us remember that, man, that Dash is an asshole. But I love it. You get a blue for it?
Ventry is going to pull out his blaster carbine and fire it 3 times in the air.
Nice. Okay, definitely. So you get a blue. Jeff, does Oddball do anything?
Yeah, but what Oddball's going to do is he's going to do 2 things. He's going to use his binoculars to try and see if he can see what's wrong with Pash's bike, because he saw the explosion of sparks.
Oh, nice one. Jeff, you know what? I'm assuming that all of Oddball's gear is implanted shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, kind of, zoom.
His eyes kind of
Sure.
adjust.
Sorry,
And,
what kind of thing is this?
He can use his long-range comlink to call Pash.
Okay. Why don't
Attention.
you want to do is, Jeff, can you make, as well as your piloting check, I'd like you to make a mechanics check against, this would be average 2 purples, but I'm going to give you, I would give you 2 blacks for range and for lighting, but your electro binoculars cancel those, so it's effectively your mechanics against 2 purples. Steve, what's Oscar doing?
This is a good question. I wonder if I can use my knowledge of the swoop to try and give it a bit of a turbo boost, like maybe sort of inject a little extra fuel or something into the.
Yeah, sure. You're familiar with this model, so you'll hit, I know how to get a little extra, oomph out of this thing.
Cool.
And
Well, Kale's not super familiar with swoops, but playing Limmy, he knows you gotta lead the ball. You gotta go where it's gonna be rather than where it is. So rather than following the path, he sort of can see where Pash is gonna end up and kind of takes a shortcut through.
Love it. That's awesome. Okay, so you get a blue as well. Okay, so everyone make your piloting checks, and Jeff, make that mechanics check as well.
The mechanics check was 5 successes.
Holy shit. Okay, so you clearly see what the problem is, and all you need to do is get through to him, and then you can fix it.
I rolled 3.
Okay.
I still got 3 successes.
You got 3. Nice. Okay, so let's the order again.
Okay, so Dash got 3 successes, 2 advantage.
Okay.
2 success, 4 advantage.
Nice. Cork.
Oh, sorry. I got 2 success, 3 advantage.
Nice.
What time of day is this?
It's daytime, but you're sort of in the bowels of a derelict city now, so it's kind of dark.
Okay.
I also got 5 successes on my piloting.
Holy fuck. Okay.
3 successes, 1 advantage.
2 successes, 1 advantage. Nice.
Just 2 success.
Success. Okay. So, Kale, you take a kind of duck off to the side. You're going through the service tunnel, and you kind of, all right, here we go, and you sort of see, and then you're out. So you're like, fuck, that was not the right one to take. Vendry, you're sort of blasting away at the top, and it's sort of causing you, because you're paying attention to the to the blaster more so than the bike. You're sort of keeping pace with where everyone is.
Yeah.
You're still ahead of ahead of Kale, but what I'll also say though is, because of your blasting up there, Pash, you now have a much more reasonable chance of realizing, like, hold on, he's not trying to race here, because you've clearly seen blaster bolts hitting kind of right behind you. Oscara, you managed to overtake a little bit of Pash. You pull a little bit ahead, but then out of the fucking blue, you see the droid again. He kind of does that. Yeah, that was good advice. He turns, and then his bike just goes wow, sails ahead. And Oddball, you zip actually past and slightly ahead of where Pash is, and Dash, you're going to go up and you kind of bump the back of Pash, and Pash, you clearly know that they're not racing with you now. So, Oddball is sort of a little bit ahead of you. What do you guys want to do? Pash, you realize that someone's trying to talk to you, because I guess Oddball is sort of like pointing at his antennae.
Do you have a comm link, Pash?
He does, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, it's like ringing or whatever they do.
Okay.
Jeff, what does your voice sound like?
What was that?
I can't remember.
I think it's just like a real digitized voice.
Okay, so what does it sound like?
I don't know. I can't create like the exact digitization of it, but like a normal talking, but just
like a flat monotone kind of thing. You mean?
Yeah, like very flat and like calm.
Okay.
A bad Skype call.
Yeah.
A bad Skype call. There you go.
Please try and tell Pash in your most flat manner that he's about to explode and die.
Excuse me, sir. Pash, there's definitely something wrong with your swoop. I have detected that it is very likely to blow up.
You try and, Pash, you try and kind of like throttle back, and you realize that it's not going down. And what a second ago was an awesome, fun ride is suddenly like, get me off this fucking thing. The three who are sort of all up at front there are Oddball, Pash, and Dash. What are you guys doing? The rest of you are screaming through the terrace understreets.
I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with his bike, if I can sort of spot it.
Okay.
Since I'm in front of him a little bit, Kev, I will attempt to like position my bike in front of his and try and slow him down.
Okay. Okay. Pash, what are you doing?
So at this point, I've got Oddball in front of me.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if I can actually assist him, and well, actually, I really can't do much other than steer, right?
Well, Oddball actually, because he rolled so fucking well on his mechanics check, it's a real simple thing. You just need to he needs to get in there with one of his, claws and throw a little switch. it's an easy sabotage, and it's a relatively easy fix too, or at least it's an easy fix because he saw exactly what needed to happen. So
can you do it while we're actually riding? Like, is there a way to for us to do that?
Yes.
The bikes.
Yep. So here's what I'm gonna say is that between the three of you, here's how assisted rolls work. I was doing it wrong before. Assisted rolls work by basically, you know how you make your dice pool by taking your characteristic and your skill rank and taking the higher of one and then the lower of the other. The higher gives you your dice pool, the lower one gives you your number of yellows.
Yeah.
What assisting someone does is you get to cherry pick which of those between two characters. So if a character happens to have, like, say, a 4 intelligence, and another character and only 1 rank in skill, another guy's got 3 in that skill, you get to pick the 3 skill and the better characteristic. Okay?
Cool.
What I'm going to say for this one is, because there's basically what you guys get to do is, I think this would be an intellect and mechanics check, and whoever is also going to require a pilot check. I'll let between the three of you figure out who's assisting with the pilot check, if at all, and who's going to be assisting with the repair check, if at all.
I'll take the pilot check.
You have the highest pilot and the highest agility, is that right?
Well, I don't know about the highest agility, but my piloting check is 2 yellow, 1 green. My athletics is 3 green, so...
Yeah, your agility.
Yeah, I can't assist on that, and I don't think they can assist my mechanics.
Okay, so Brent, tell me what Dash is going to do to try and help here.
Because he can't really help, he's going to try and pull along the other side of Pasha's bike and sort of stabilize it, so it's not bumping around as much.
Okay. So what I'll let you do is I'll let you add a blue to his piloting check. So here's what we're going to do then is Oddball, make a mechanics check against a difficulty of 2, but I'm going to give you 2 blacks because of the circumstances. And for Pash, you are going to make a piloting check, but because you're trying to slow down instead of speed up, you get 2 blacks with that. But I believe because of your, what do you call it, your talent, you get to ignore one of those, don't you? Is this a handling-related thing?
No, I think that was from last. Hold on.
You would have spent whatever XP you spent last time. You get to maintain, because you took Skilled Jockey, which allows you to remove 1 black die when you're making a piloting check.
Oh yeah. And plus, I get the 1 blue from Brent, right?
Yes. So you get 1 blue from Brent. There's only 1 black left, and then it's going to be 2 against 2 purples. So guys, go ahead and make your checks.
Huh. Jeff, you want to go first?
Well, why don't you pilot to stabilize first, and then I'll roll to see if you die or not.
Yeah, I think that's
That's okay. Playing it safe, that's fine. Well,
there's no reds involved.
Well, if you roll advantage, well, no, I'm putting it this way, Dave. If you roll advantage, Kevin might give me a bonus to my roll.
Yep.
Right. We're both in luck because I rolled 4 successes and 1 advantage.
Nice.
Beautiful.
So, Jeff, you can go ahead and take 1 blue. He's managed to incredible. He's basically managed to stabilize it like you're like on a an operating table.
You know what? Through I'll say to Oddball, "Hey, look! I don't even need brakes on this thing."
Oddball reaches out, and it looks like he's not going to be able to reach the bike, and then his arm kind of like just extends like 3 inches, and he reaches over to the switch.
Nice.
And he gets 2 successes, 2 advantage.
Nice. Oh, you actually managed to not only fix it, you managed to maintain the 1 extra handling that Oscara managed to get you guys last turn.
Nice.
So he's back under control again. You sort of, you all fall back a little bit, and you all manage to sort of meet up. Now, Oddball, you're the one who's got the coordinates you're supposed to go to pick up the next set of coordinates.
Okay.
So you guys all sort of, Oddball, turns to the rest of you guys and says, "Now, if you've had quite enough, follow me." And then he kind of turns off down one tunnel, and a lot of you guys all kind of turn off down there as well. You reach, so the scene kind of wipes to a darkened, big tunnel with the 5 parked. There's 5 of you or 6 of you? 1, 2, 3, hold on, I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of you. 6 parked swoops, all in this thing. The sort of headlights on each of them are on, but the engines on each are dead. So you're all kind of standing around. You've been waiting now for about an hour, you'd say, maybe a little bit longer, to get a signal. Who is the most impatient among you?
Is there any way to tell that exactly?
No, you guys tell me.
Interesting.
I'm pretty cool and patient.
Yeah.
I'm pretty green, so I'm not really uppity.
Right. I'm a bit of a hothead, and I'm not really dedicated to any side here, and it's always my style to shoot first and ask questions later. I might be a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Oscara turns to Oddball and says, "Anything?" Nothing yet.
No, sorry. Oddball has endless patience. Time is completely different to his droid brain.
Yeah. So maybe there's a moment where
Playing Tetris right now in his mind.
you guys are all standing around, and then Oddball finally says, "Oh," and everyone kind of turns and looks at him, and he says, "I think I broke the hyperdrive."
Mm-hmm.
So
When he
you're all-
pulls out the part that he broke.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
So you guys all sort of look at him, and before you can really respond to his sudden memory, of having broken the crate fang, he says, "You get the transmission. It is a coded transmission that provides locations or coordinates on Terrace for where you are to meet Lord Santeca."
Okay. I'm getting the transmission now, I tell him.
Okay. You are incidentally told, while Terrace as is sort of a derelict world city, you still get there still is a comm net. The short range comms only have a distance of, I believe it's like a kilometer. A long range comm can contact anywhere else on planet and even somewhat into orbit. But with the comm net, you can contact anybody. So is that
a hologram or is it just voice?
Depends on what you've, I guess, like how you're using it. It can be a hologram display as well.
Yeah, I've got one of those.
I got the voice for you guys for your imagination.
Yeah.
He sounds kind of like a Dalek from Doctor Who.
That is terrific.
No excitement, no exterminate excitement, but just like their normal talking.
Which is
like
great.
Modulated.
Yeah, just really modulated.
Drive. Okay, so you get the coordinates and you're able to lead them out. It's about 45-minute flight later. We cut again to a wide, probably the size of about maybe 3 or 4 football field cavern that has some fading and flickering lights. After these thousands of years, there are still some areas of Terrace where, for whatever quirk of the power grid, there still is this deep underground places that still have their lights flickering through some kind of repair droids that are still maintaining them or whatever. This place is sort of like that, where there's a big light that sort of illuminates this, essentially what is a grown-over crater. Something hit this thing thousands of years ago, and then part of the city sort of collapsed on top. So you can picture above are a bunch of essentially like hallways and freeways that used to lead to other parts of Terrace. On the ground, there is a thick and still pool of brackish water. There are small islands rubbish that are strewn throughout it as well too. The caked mold and moss that has sort of grown up over it tells you it's been down here for a very, very long time. And on one corner of this kind of ruined lake is the remnants of a quite incongruently shows two sort of like neon dancing Twi'lek women. With what's called they're sort of like one with their tentacles forward and one with their tentacles back, so they kind of like there's no sound to it. It's just the flickering sound light of one red and one green Twi'lek dancer. We hear the sound of distant repulsor lift engines, and then we see all you guys come out of one of the tubes up on the wall. The coordinates led to this location, and you can see that there is still the cracked and decayed remnants of a sort of like landing pad or parking spot out in front of this Twi'lek's cantina or bar. So you guys all roar in front of this thing. Odd, you're quite certain this is the coordinates.
I come to a skidding stop sideways.
Okay, nice. So, what are you guys doing?
Why don't you guys hang out for a second? I'll scout it out in case this is not what it seems.
Can I go with you?
Vendry is quite stealthy as well.
All right, sure.
You guys can. I mean, you presume that you guys have met each other before too. So feel free to, in the course of this, invent backstory for you guys too.
Okay. All right. That sounds. So yeah, we both know we're pretty good with the stealth. So yeah, that sounds good. It's always better with two than one.
Okay. So
hey,
what?
Kev.
Yeah.
I don't know if we did this and I just missed it at the beginning. Just in case it comes up, did we do Destiny Pool? And if so, how many lights?
Sorry, guys. Bush League DM here. So I think most of you guys know this, or you might be the only one who doesn't yet. What we do at the start of each session of this game is we use the other kind of dice that we haven't used yet. This is the force die. So what we'll get you guys to do is each of you roll. So everyone roll the force die and tell me what you get.
That's a white, right?
Yeah, there's so many of us, we just roll one each.
One each, yeah.
One dark.
Uh-oh, one dark side. Okay, so what this does, this
I got one light side.
One light side, okay.
Two light
Another
side.
for you, Kev.
Hey guys, hold on, because this is getting crazy. Remember your order.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brent?
One dark.
Okay, Dave?
One dark.
Nice.
Cork?
Two light.
Nice. Jeff?
One light.
Okay. Okay, so our Destiny pool currently is 5 white and 3 dark. Now, I'll refresh everyone's memory. What you can do with your Destiny pool is you can use it to activate certain abilities, and you can use it to use a light side point to upgrade one of your skill checks. A green becomes a yellow, or if you've got all yellows, it becomes another green.
Sweet.
I can use dark side points to upgrade the difficulty of things.
Mm-hmm.
You can also use light side points to, subject to my approval, to edit a scene. I can also use it to target maximum firepower and kill a character. That's not true. Okay, I just want I watched Empire again last weekend or earlier this week, and like that line delivery is fucking insane.
Hey, I was gonna take you up on it. I have a holdout blaster, and I would totally target maximum firepower with the holdout.
Yes, that's great.
I totally like roast a mouse or something.
Yeah. Okay, so Vendry and whatchamacallit? Dash, you guys are going to sort of go in while everyone hangs back. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'd like you to do is, let's see here. Why don't you both make stealth checks against 2 reds and 1 purple. I am going to give you each a blue as well because it's it's quite dark. It's not pitch black in there. Like there still is some lingering, fluorescent lights inside, but there's enough shadows for you to sort of, take advantage of.
Whoa. Vendry got 2 successes and 1 despair.
Just over there. Oh, on the big board? Yes. Yeah, underneath, Steve, on the left of the left of the stove. Sorry, Cork, what did you say?
I said I got 2 successes and 1 despair.
Oh, okay. And Brent, how did Dash do?
2 successes.
2 successes, okay. So you guys go lurking in there, and you're quite, quite quiet. Now, why don't you please each make a perception check against the same difficulty?
I love perception checks.
You still get the blue dice?
You do not get the blue dice. You actually get a black dice for this. Thank you for reminding me.
1 purple, 1 red. No, 2 red, 1 purple, 1 black.
2 red, 1 purple, 1 black. Correct.
Okay.
I'm still trying to find my perception. Okay, it's the same roll. I got 1 advantage.
1 advantage, okay.
Hang on, I'm just doing mine manually, so I'm adding it up. 1 advantage. Disadvantage. Failure. So 2 successes. 1 success, 2 disadvantage.
Okay. So what you get is Vendry, you don't see anything. You're sort of skulking around. There isn't anything moving in here whatsoever. Dash, you see sort of behind the way that the bar is set up is that there's sort of a big open floor or cantina. There's a big sort of flat floor that is cracked and stained with soot and dust and whatnot. And then there is a second floor that is there's a one way to get up there, and there is some like what would have been what do you call it? Kind of like long tables that you could sit at. And then behind that is where there is sort of a stage and then bars on either side. And you can see that at the side of one of the bars, there is this sort of burly form that has some kind of weapon in his hand. And he seems to be sort of taking aim at you guys, or at least kind of tracking you as you go.
Uh-oh. Do I see any of
This
this?
is the least friendly cantina I've ever been to.
Do they
Out loud?
they serve this here? It says Rebel IPA.
How was Kill's stealth anyway?
Not great, I think. 3 green. Just.
Okay. Okay, so Brent, did you say that out loud?
Yeah, since we're obviously spotted, I'm just gonna make myself known.
Okay. He, what do you call it? The form kind of shuffles out, and I'd like you guys to make a lore, is it Outer Rim? Check. Just the 2 of you who are in the bar, please. Or the
So
canteen.
there's only one threat. Do I notice them?
Now that you sort of hear Dash call out, and then suddenly this sort of form shuffles forward.
Okay, well, I'm thinking that this guy is possibly the person that we have to meet.
Okay.
So I'm going to just take my blaster carbine, which I was kind of like holding.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like put it up in the air and just like step out of the shadows.
Okay. So you got your thing up, and both are up in the your hands are up.
Yeah.
This thing kind of shuffles out. Both of you, please make a. I'll give an average check. So it's 2 purples with lore Outer Rim.
Come on, big money.
Still trying to find my lore outer rim here.
None for you. Yeah, no food for her, please. Yeah.
Lore intelligence, core worlds.
Outer rim. Emmy, hey.
Outer rim, 3 greens. Sorry, so that's 3 greens.
Yes, 2 purple. Brent, how'd you do?
0 successes, 2 advantage.
Yep.
And we got a success and an advantage.
Success and advantage. Okay, so you traveled, Vendry, very far. You've gone all over from the core world to the the edges of wild space and the unknown regions. You actually have seen many of the species that populate this galaxy. This is a fairly rare amphibian species called an Abednado.
Abednado?
Yeah, Abednado. And what he looks like is this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I like the chicken.
He looks cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Kev, can you put it back? Dave missed it. Oh.
There you go, guys. I'll keep talking here until you guys have all seen him. That is what he looks like. So it's crazy eyes on the side.
His nostrils on the side there.
Put him in the Force Awakens.
Yes. There's if you remember from Force Awakens, there's an X-Wing pilot who's an Abednado as well. So this guy steps out and he has this blaster, essentially something that looks like a combination of a cudgel and a blaster. And he kind of and says something. Vendry, because you succeeded, I'm going to say you speak Abednado.
Okay.
You can get by on it. And he says, who sent you?
I don't want to give up Princess Leia,
Yeah. What do you guys think? Here, tell me, Cork. What do you think what's the sort of password that you guys are Actually, I can think of the easiest of low-hanging fruits for that.
What's that?
May the Force be with you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Is that the password?
If you want it to be, you tell me.
Sure, yeah. It's a little cheeky, but may the Force be with you.
Okay. So he kind of.
But I say it in a way like when you call out and say, if you were going to say, put down your guns, we're friendly.
Yeah.
It's more like, may the Force be with you.
Okay, nice. Okay, so he kind of. And he says, as with you. And you hear from behind this kind of rich baritone voice that says, Ilko, please. You can see that this is so that they've come from the Alliance to see us. And a man steps out into a human, steps out into the sort of half light, and the human looks just. Where are you? Come on, you motherfucker. You mother's whore. It looks just like that.
Nice. Is that Max von Sydow?
Yep.
Nice. I'm just going to pull out, if I can, my comm link.
Oh, awesome.
He says...
if I can, I'm going to pull out my comm link and say the coast is clear.
Nice. So those of you waiting outside, you hear that? He says, my name is Lore Santeca. I take it that the princess sent you.
She did. I'm Dash Vega. A pleasure meeting you.
Dash Vega. A pleasure to meet you as well. Please. The years have not been kind to this place, but he kind of gestures to a table that has 8 chairs around it. And he says, we've made as best a homecoming as we can. And then he sees you guys come into the bar as well, those of you who weren't sneaking in. And he says, welcome, welcome. I can't imagine it was easy making your way here. We I hope that we can make it worth your trip. Now, let's sit. We haven't much time. So he walks over and sits down. You guys do your introductions. He again says, my name is Lor San Tekka, and this is Ilko Munica. Ilko, when I let my curiosity get the better of me, he prevents it from biting me. Now,
if there's like a class system going on here, I'm kind of like sticking more to Ilko and just like hanging back, you know?
You know, you don't get that. Well, you know what? Make a perception check, please.
Okay.
It'll be an easy difficulty. One per.
And I got 3 successes.
Nice. Okay. The what you are picking up from this, Cork, is really, it's more of like, you know, very, very long-term friends who sort of fall into have different, you know, personalities.
Okay.
You get the sense that Ilko is playing sort of like bodyguard role to Lor San Tekka, but it's not because of any kind of inferiority thing. It's just like, you know, like Ilko doesn't wait for what's his name to sit. He sort of, you know, goes over and sits himself down as well. He's just keeping an, you know.
I guess I mean more in the way of like, I view my own role as not the leader or hero. I view my own role as like a necessary agent.
Okay.
And I feel more kinship towards this Ilko character and just like, you know, pay attention to what's going on, but more, that's where I feel more comfortable standing next to him. You know
well, Ilko also probably appreciates that, you know, there's not a lot of folks who speak Abenado, so he's probably quite, you know, Duros, you guys get around.
Yeah, but I've been all over the Outer Rim.
Lor San Tekka asks you to sit down. He says, "Now, I am not certain how much that Princess Leia has informed you as to why I contacted her through the Alliance. You see, while I am sympathetic to the Resistance goals, I work in my own way to see to the betterment of the galaxy. You see, have you heard of the Jedi?
Don't we have a Jedi with us?
Yes. I'm familiar with the Order.
Then, and he kind of looks at you, and is there anything on you, Brent, that still speaks to your Jedi background?
There might be some, like, he could have multiple necklaces. He got that locket he wears around his neck, but maybe there's like a crystal or something, not a proper functioning crystal, but could be a burnt out crystal or something from his master. Or
yeah, okay. So his.
You don't have a business card?
No, I was sort of on the run and I ran out and I didn't get any more printed.
Okay, so this, Brent, what about this? That's the symbol of the Jedi Order there, right?
Yeah, that definitely would not be around his neck. He'd be a bad shadow and dead by now.
What? Okay, so...
Like, I understand, like, that would be cool, but I think in this era, like...
The crystals are worth, like, they're incalculable in their value. Like, it's not something that you would...
like a burnt-out one that doesn't function?
I don't know where you would come across that, though.
Okay, maybe some other sort of, like, symbol or something that, like, a Jedi uses, or, like, maybe during Padawans have, like, a meditation focus, or...
Sure. Okay, yeah, maybe, and it's something, like you say, unobtrusive.
Crystal they used to focus or something with.
Okay. Okay, so he, what do you call it? He sort of looks you over and he says, You? Huh. You were once a member, were you not?
I nod, but my training was not complete.
Few were that live. Tell me, how much have you told your companions of your former life?
Not much.
Kale's like, what?
For those who are unaware, the Jedi were once the light that shone hope into all the dark reaches of the galaxy. For 1,000 generations, they were the protectors of the Republic before the dark times. And what the fact that their order could survive for so many centuries, for so many thousands generations, and then be forgotten like a midday dream by the entire galaxy speaks to the sinister intent and the legacy of blood of the Clone Wars and the Empire. You see, what I believe is what the Empire tells us is not true, that there is a living force, that there is something greater than ourselves, but also of ourselves, that binds us all together. And I believe that the Jedi once served that force. And sadly, within the span of my brief life, I have seen the Jedi first loathed by half of the galaxy, the duration of the Clone Wars, and then hated as enemies of the state for the rest.
Basically, I'm gonna say something like, the Empire is our enemy, and any people that they feel is a threat is where we must focus our efforts.
Oh,
and restoring.
I agree, Vendry, my friend, that you are absolutely right. But the Force is something more than the construction of the governments of men. But you are right that the Jedi were an enemy. The legacy of the Clone Wars and then the rise of the Empire was that what evidence there was of the Jedi prior to the Clone Wars was destroyed by the Separatists in the course of the early years of the wars. And then the areas where the Republic once held sway, the Empire was quite easy, quite handily able to eliminate whatever last vestiges. Where there were once libraries of knowledge and history and stories of Jedi tracing back for 20,000 years, now there is nothing to tell us about the men and women and beings who died not more than 20 years ago.
There are still rumors that holocrons and hidden temples exist, although I've not been able to find any.
No, the Empire and the Separatists were quite diligent in their steps to eradicate all traces of the Jedi Order. But I agree, young. He kind of cocks his head. Padawan? I agree that there are still vestiges. Indeed, by finding these, we may assist in bringing light back to the galaxy. That is why, and he kind of motions around, that's why I am here. This may not look it now. Terrace is an old, old place that has suffered through centuries and centuries of war. It carries those scars quite visibly. But this place was once a training ground. This was once a school. And I'm determined to find it, where the Empire has quite systematically eradicated any vestige of the Jedi, the core world, the expansion regions, and the colonies. In the Outer Rim, this far from their reach, they only scratch the surface, and deep beneath that, there are millennia of history waiting to be found. This is what I bring. But you must sort of, have more pressing things to do. You are men of action. You're not here to hear the ramblings and the fairy tales of an old man.
They're not fairy tales to me, and I quite enjoy fairy tales.
I have had.
Delighted to hear them.
Well, that is exactly, or precisely, the spirit with which we need to engage this task. Now, the reason I contacted Princess Leia was because I have been contacted by a friend. Another man that I knew from in my youth, a fellow student of the Jedi, a man named Asher Sungazer. Now, Asher was like me, and in his youth he traveled much, seeking out the stories of the Jedi. Well, while I was a firm believer in the purifying and redeeming quality of the Force, Asher believed that these were nothing more than superstition, children's tales. However, I recently received a wave from him, and he brings out a little like hollow kind of transceiver, and he puts it down, and he hits activate. And what you see come up is a guy who looks like this. He looks like this.
He's like a tall dwarf.
Yeah, really.
I like Dave takes them better, but
we go. The thing flashes to life in a little transparent blue version of that man you just saw. Flashes to life, complete with books in his hand, and he says, "Hello, my friend. It has been some time since we last spoke. However, I've come across something that you might find interesting." And he places the books down, and the hollow message pans out to show various bric-a-brac laid out on an examination table, amongst which he's walking. He's kind of doing sort of showing you what's sort of around him. He pauses in front of a stone talisman, and the hollow message zooms in closely, bringing it into sharp focus. He then picks up the stone and tilts it in such a way so that tiny veins of color appear on its surface. In a conspiratorial whisper, he says the following: "I found this in the archive at Phalar University. The crystallization in the stone reminds me of stories about lightsaber crystals, and the engravings may be several thousand years old. I'd prefer not to speak more here. The Empire tends to censor our communications, but if you can meet me at Eriadu, I can show you this in person. Make sure that you obtain some credentials, though. The relic cannot be removed from the university archive, and you need to be an accredited scholar to gain access. Not that it'll prove a problem for you, Lore." He grins briefly. "Come quickly, my friend. We have much to discuss." And it flashes out. Now, Lore kind of is watching all of your reactions to this. And he says, once he sort of has gauged what everyone's response is, and he says, now, I would travel myself. Eriadu, if you are not familiar, is a planet at the far end of the Hydrian Way. The Hydrian Way is one of the major hyperspace kind of like trade routes or whatever that runs the length or crisscrosses across the galaxy. Eriadu is at the meeting point of two of these, the Hydrian Way and I don't remember the other one.
How do I spell the planet's name?
The planet Eriadu, E-R-I-A-D-U. Now, would you guys please make lore core worlds checks for me, please?
What's the difficulty?
I don't think it has one, actually. Oh, average, sorry, two purples.
Perfect, nothing.
Fail, but one advantage.
Okay. Brent, how'd you do?
I got 2 successes and 1 threat.
Okay. Dave?
2 advantage.
2 advantage, okay.
3 successes.
Okay.
2 successes, 1 advantage.
Advantage, okay. Okay, so here's what you guys sort of collectively, this is sort of like you guys feeding, exposition across a table scene, where, who got 1 success? You got 1 sole success.
I got 1 advantage.
1 advantage, okay. Who got 1 success? Only 1. Anybody? No? And you get 2 successes?
Did.
Okay. So, Brent, Dash is from Corellia originally, so, and actually, sorry, Vendry, did you say you got 2 successes as well?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll say you get this one. You know that Eriadu is an industrial outer rim world located in the Siswana sector. Eriadu hosts over 20 billion souls, primarily humans, living under a miasma of haze and smog from rampant pollution. Its government consists of 5 noble houses which reside in its capital, Eriadu City, presided over by a planetary governor. Its primary spaceport is the city of Phalar. You also you got 1 advantage. You in the course of traveling for your sporting stuff, you have been there and you know that the planet's industry focuses primarily on manufacturing, computer technology, droids, and the servicing of an imperial dry dock that's in orbit. The whole planet chokes on class inequalities, power politics, wealthy titled families, and bureaucratic corruption dominates the day-to-day life on Eriadu. Who got 2 advantage?
I did.
You did. Okay. So who was that? Was that Dave?
Wait a second. Wait.
Ash. Dave.
Ash, okay. Bash, you also, this actually fits. The spaceport city of Phalar's primary university holds a massive collection of artifacts called the Archive, located on the Phalar University campus. The Archive possesses a surprising amount of security and only allows accredited scholars entry. The Archive has made Phalar a more diverse city with all manners of species coming and going. So while most of Eriadu is human, that is sort of the exception. It's sort of the most diverse of all of them. Last thing, anyone want to guess who's from Eriadu? I'll give you a hint. He's dead at the time we're playing. Remember a certain Grand Moff that I said was atomized?
Yeah?
Yeah, he's from Eriadu.
Nice.
You're going to be doing some Mission Impossible type stuff. I want to be the guy in the vents.
You'll absolutely. Vendry calls.
I've got like a com jammer, all sorts of shit here. I can jam com links, you know.
I'll pick the locks. You climb through the vents. We're set.
So we had two tips on the.
Wish I had the force powers. Then instead of doing the wire thing and floating through the air, I could just do like the floating through the air without the wire.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't.
What he says is, Laura says, as Asher has said, you will need to. So I would. Sorry, back up. Laura says that he would make the trip himself. I would. Asher is a brilliant scholar, and so while I don't agree with his reservation about the existence of the Force, he is a brilliant mind, if excessively skeptical. If he says he has found something, I would very much like to see it, but I cannot. Eriadu is far too close to the bosom of the Empire, and I would no doubt be discovered. And there is much work for me to do here on Taris. But if I can provide you something that will dispel any doubts he has as to who sent you. He brings out a second kind of hollow display thing. And he sets it down and he hits a button and it kind of flashes up, and what you see is this cube with a bunch of sort of intricate designs and so forth that are in there.
Dash gets super excited, and he's like, a holocron?
And
where did you get that?
Sorry, what did you say, Brent?
Shocked, amazed, loses his cool, and he just like jaw drops.
I'm just going to point out, when the camera flicks, that means it's cutting off each other. So I interrupted you. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Dash, when he sees it, his jaw drops. He loses kind of his cool and blurts out a holocron. Where did you get? And then he sort of like catches himself, but just like completely amazed and just like
his master.
Vendry's going to ask Oddball what a holocron is.
What's that?
Vendry's going to ask Oddball what a holocron is.
Nice.
Does Oddball know?
Why don't you make a let's see here, lore. What is it? Is it a knowledge lore check? Hold it up here, and it's going to be. Let's see here. So yeah, it'll be a knowledge lore check. And it will be a difficulty of 5 purples.
Okay. Kev, I'm actually gonna give myself disadvantage because of 1 black, because you got to remember that Oddball was like raised by the Empire, so to speak. So
whatever the most ridiculous. Like, you can either say like I have no fucking clue, or you can give him.
I'll roll for this, but like.
Yeah.
Can I give assistance?
Like, he doesn't know.
Can I give assistance to the roll?
Sure, yeah.
I did that. I did 5 purple versus my lore. I added my own black. I got 2 successes and 2 threats.
Oh, wow. Okay, so what you why don't you roll 1 blue as well too, because Vendry gave you assistance on that.
Okay, the blue would have been here. You gotta, with this app, you gotta like subtract the.
Okay.
Hold on. The 1 blue was a advantage, so it would have been 2 successes, 1 threat then.
Okay. So you're sort of thinking, and you kind of blurt out. It was sort of a interactive.
Wait, first he looks at Vendry and he says, "We're talking about the wizard guys, right?"
Yeah. So you sort of, in the depths of the Death Star's memory banks or its computers, there was extensive hidden areas that Lord Vader was supposed to be the only one to have access to. You may have snuck a little bit of a peek at that. So you're
Oddball loves reading other people's emails.
Yes, nice. So, Oddball's the kind of guy who checks the browser history for his friends.
Oh, absolutely.
Wait, you got to know who you're with, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So Oddball quickly, kind of in a clinical and emotion-free way, says, "Oh, these were the interactive training matrices used by Jedi." And
but instead of Jedi, he says wizards.
By wizards. Okay, sorry. Yeah, by wizards.
I'm just gonna nod and go. Oh.
Okay. Hey, settle the fuck down.
And then he adds that the Empire would kill Lord just for having this.
Mm.
Oh, hey, Jeff, just as a player note, if you're coming up with nicknames that irritate people, now that you know my character is a Jedi, calling him a wizard would irritate the piss out of him.
Will it? Okay, perfect. Well, he might end up calling him some kind of wizard.
Yes. Okay. So,
if he sees any negative reaction to the word wizard instead of Jedi, then he'll take note of it.
Okay.
Yeah, probably right now he's too busy to I'm too in awe to care. But if you start referring to Jedi as wizards, then he'll correct you. I'll start correcting you, and then.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys.
Well, just so you know that the whole other part of this is that Oddball is not good at coming up with nicknames for people. He's a droid, so his nicknames will be terrible.
Yeah.
He thinks they're great, but they're bad.
If you call Jedi wizards, and even if I correct you and you still call them wizards, it'll piss Dash off.
Right.
It's not horribly, but
Is that going to turn you to the dark side?
I'm a dark wizard.
You just snap. It'll just sort of build up, and I'll use the dark side and just chop at him one day.
Yeah, but he'd be more likely to call you wishes he was a wizard. That'd be the kind of nickname he'll give you.
Is he going to wannabe wizard?
Wannabe wizard.
Yeah, wishes he was a wizard. Wishes he was a wizard is over there talking about holocron cubes.
Wishy wizard.
Okay, so.
Yeah, that's even more annoying.
Even more annoying. Exactly. That's how much he hates Oddball. He hates it.
Okay. So, more.
Vendry kind of trusts droids more than he does trust other species other than Duros.
Okay. I like that. Okay, so what do you call it? Lord Santeca kind of looks around and he says, "Clearly, the princess has sent the correct group. You are quite knowledgeable in it. What none of you know as well is that the threat that you rolled on that, Jeff.
Yeah.
And this is the despair that Vendry rolled from before. When you accessed the Death Star records that you just used to access the holocron information, it triggered a subroutine that Vader had hidden in that data packet. And what no one notices is that your long-range comm kind of whoop, clicks on, and there's a whoop, whoop, whoop that's going on. But no one notices that.
Not your fault, dude. Not your fault.
Okay, so
nobody trusts that black wizard anyway.
Dash asked Lore if he was able, if he figured out how to, if he was able to unlock it.
He says, "No, it's this," and he kind of passes his hand through it. He says, "This is but a surface scan. I have not found a holocron. these were one of the key targets. Apart from the Jedi themselves, nothing was a greater threat to the Empire than the possibility, and he kind of gestures at the blue sphere that's slowly moving around before you, than the possibility of more Jedi.
Would Dash have any idea how to use one, or on like the procedure to unlock one?
You have a rough idea, but I mean it's been a number of years, and you probably, because you grew up in the dark, you know what? You've probably never seen one actually, because you grew up in the dark times. Your master probably, Shadows wouldn't carry one around, and it's unlikely that they were able to recover one. So you actually probably never, you've heard of them.
I'll share my theoretical knowledge of how one would be unlocked.
Yeah. Why don't you make how did you do on the average, or you didn't make it yet? Make an average lore check for me, please. Knowledge lore. This has the promise of great comedy if he gives the wrong information. The first you have to insert it in the.
Oh, I'm lucky. One success even, and I got a whole bunch of shit to cancel each other out. Luckily.
Nice. Okay, good. So you believe that it's really just a simple matter of essentially, infusing it or contacting it with the Force, being at one with it, and that would, sort of activate it.
It's a dreidel.
Yeah, you spin it. This is the shittiest Jedi toy I've ever seen.
Here, wizard. Here's your dreidel.
Laura says then that I take it that I can trust this task to you. Oh, so first, sorry, before he says that, he says yes to Dash. I don't know. So we have not seen this. We found this hidden deep in the banks of a crashed Republic cruiser, shot down. How it managed to survive the predations of the Separatists, I don't know. The Force moves in mysterious ways, but the only information we were able to gather from this was the name of the Jedi who created this. Now, Brent, if you need me to spell this out for you, I will.
Yeah, just may as well do that.
Well, no, I'll see if you need to. The name of the Jedi was Corso Riggs.
Riggs?
Okay.
No, Riggs!
Brent, do you want to provide the spelling for that?
Yeah. He was Corso Riggs is a character I played.
Spelling. That's all I need.
Oh, okay. Corso, and Riggs is Riggs.
Okay, so now go ahead. If you want to give the
background, he was a character I played in a one-shot, and he was from the Republic era, and I was toying with having my character. I was originally just going to call him Dash Vega because I thought it sounded really cool, and then I started toying with. And I ran it by Kevin. He didn't respond to the email yet. But now, like his last name being Vega Riggs, and Riggs, the Corso Riggs, being an ancestor.
So this is a character that Brent has been playing from roughly 4,000 years before.
Nice.
So the only thing that he knows is that this thing was created by this Jedi named Corso Riggs. That. And the surface scans of the holocron will be enough to convince Asher that you came from me.
Riggs is a good name.
Odd, can you please make a perception check for me, please, against a difficulty of... Okay, I'm going to let all of you make a perception check. Odd, yours is against a difficulty of average, so 2 purples. Everyone else, it's going to be against hard, so 4 purples.
For perception?
The perception, please, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. I get a yellow. Come on, yellow.
Oh shit! I got 2 successes and 1 threat.
Boom. What do we got here, guys? Yeah. Well,
2 green, 1 yellow, 4 purple.
I got 1 success, 2 threats.
I got 0 success, 2 threats.
Yep.
2 successes, 1 threat.
Okay.
Dash got 3 successes thanks to Dave's rolling on the computer. He rolled for me instead of I only have 3 purple dice. You roll on that thing. I got 4 successes. I'm like, Dave's awesome. Unfortunately, he only rolled 1 failure for himself, but.
Okay. And Odd, how did you do?
2 success, 4 threats.
Cool.
Nice.
Okay, and the Vendry, how did you do?
2 successes, 1 threat.
Success, 1 threat. Okay, so anyone who rolled 2 successes or more, you've been sort of idly paying attention to the comms, and I think Vendry, did you roll the highest?
I rolled 2 successes, 1 threat.
Anyone else roll?
I got 3 successes.
3 successes? Okay.
I was too busy. I was being distracted because of.
3 successes is still that you're, as much as you're sort of enamored with seeing this thing that may very well be from one of your ancestors. You sort of like, oh my god, but I guess there's, for whatever reason, you just sort of, that's weird. You forgot your comm on, but it's not working.
Yeah.
You look over and all of you sort of, anyone who rolled a success on this, sort of when you see the what do you call it? You see Dash raise up his comm. You all sort of look at it and you're like, why aren't they working? And Vendry, because of your sort of background in this, you're like,
I've got a comm jammer as well. So like my comm jammer probably tells you if you're being jammed.
Well, the fact that they're not working tells you that they're being jammed.
Okay.
And then you sort of all look and Oddball, you sort of do a quick subroutine. You're like, oh my, and you realize that you've been transmitting out to someone. At that moment, I would like everyone to please make a vigilance check.
Dun, dun, dun.
Vigilance?
Vigilance. Oh, I got one of those bad boys with the lights.
Just straight vigilance?
Yeah, just straight vigilance. Remember that vigilance is one of the 2 things that we use.
You roll vigilance when we're being ambushed.
Yep. Brent, make sure when I'm trying to explain something, please don't shout over me.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Brent.
So 2 green versus what?
2 green. Just roll whatever your vigilance is. What it does is it sets the order of initiative, or it sets the initiative slot, and you just count how many successes you got, and then your advantage is what breaks ties.
Well, if somebody wants to break a tie for 0, I've got 1 advantage.
Okay, so sorry, top of it. Brent, how did you do?
1 success.
1 success, okay. So you got 1 success. Dave?
2 advantage.
2 advantage, okay. Cork? Oh,
I got 1 advantage.
Sorry?
1 advantage.
1 advantage, okay.
Funnily enough, Dave did break the tie for 0 success. 1 advantage. I have 2 success, 1 advantage.
2 success, 1 advantage, okay. Steve, how'd you do?
1 success, 2 advantage.
1 success, 2 advantage.
We managed to get 2 success and 2 advantage.
Nice, okay. And let's see how these other gents did. They are. What are you doing? I can see you. Okay. So I'm only rolling 3 of these. I got 1 success and 1 advantage. Okay, so what we've got, guys, is 1 success and 1 advantage puts me there. I've got 1, 2, 3 slots before and 1, 2, 3 slots after. So it'll be, remember that in this game, you roll for your slots, and then you guys decide what order everyone operates in. So take a sec to decide. What happens is basically you have a split second when suddenly there is a massive explosion at the front of the cantina, and you see the unmistakable white armor of the Imperial Elite Forces, the Stormtroopers, bursting in.
Damn, son.
Now, who wants?
No, I'm not gonna claim this very often because Oddball is just by nature kind of a secondary character. But seeing as he brought the ambush, I would like to say that he acts first in this battle.
Okay. And how's anyone feel?
Unless anyone else.
Sure.
Well, you guys think there's 3 who act before the Stormtroopers and 3 who act after.
Well, I've got like
Right.
I could chuck a grenade into the. Is it like a smallish opening that they got?
Yeah, it's sort of like the 2 what do you call it? Transparisteel windows that were left or whatever, or they got blown in.
All right, I like this plan.
Okay. Anyone? So Kale would like to claim one of the top 3. Anyone care?
Give her.
Well,
Okay. So we got Kale and we got Oddball. We got 1 more. Who wants to go before the Stormtroopers?
Well, I've got a pretty good shot. I got a big drop.
Who goes on and sorry?
Who's got high agility?
I've got an agility of 3.
4.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
not,
Well, then let's say that I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Let's say Oscaro was.
Sure. I mean, cool.
Ready?
Is using my comm jammer a free action?
It would be a action
Okay.
using it. Not maintaining it, just getting the thing going. It would be a maneuver to take it out, and then an action to kind of like get it so it's fucking up their frequencies. Okay.
All right. Well, I'll do that after they act. But yeah.
Vendry. Who was left here? Dash and Pash. The Corellian brothers. Okay, so Kale. Oddball first. Sorry, Oddball wanted to go first. So
Oddball looks at everyone, and he just says in sort of his monotone voice, he just says, "My bad," and what looks like a sort of power screwdriver on his left hand just turns into a small blaster rifle, and he turns and fires at the Stormtroopers.
Nice. The Stormtroopers are currently medium distance away.
Okay.
Games, because there's no map, ranges are just abstracted.
Okay.
So it takes 1 maneuver to move from, there's let's see, close range, short range, medium range, and then it's 2 to move from medium to long, 2 more to move from long to extreme.
All right.
Okay. Okay. So Oddball, what are you doing?
He's not moving from where he is. He just turns and fires there.
Okay. Okay.
So what's medium for a light blaster?
Medium for light blaster is. Oh, so I got my fucking DM screen right here. Medium is I believe, average. So 2 purples, and I'm gonna give 1 black for the sort of the smoke and
Smoke.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. His roll is. Oh God. That is just about as gross as it gets. A failure and 2 threats.
In your what do you call it? You know what I'm gonna say is actually, as you sort of get up and start firing, that subroutine that you still had sort of active, you're trying to actively suppress that, and it causes a bit of a feedback, so you take 2 strain.
Yikes.
Okay. Next up is Kale. What are you doing?
Cool.
So you have a maneuver, and you have an action, and then you can suffer 2 strain to do another maneuver.
Nice. I will maneuver to short range so that I can chuck my grenade through the window.
Nice. Okay. So go ahead. And,
While he's rolling, I'm just gonna add that you guys noticed, like from his antenna, there's like sparks flying out of his antenna while he fires, and a little trail of smoke.
Short range is actually only 1.
Nice. Fuck off. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 success, 1 advantage.
Nice. Okay, so you need 2 advantage to be able to hit more than 1 target, but you didn't get that. But what you can do is, you got 3 threat. But the 3 successes pushes up the damage on the first one. So what was the damage of your grenade?
Grenade deal 8 damage on a hit plus 1 damage per uncancelled success.
Okay, nice.
So 11, I guess.
Yep, so 11 damage, and because you do need a maneuver to draw the grenade, so you would have to suffer 2 strain in order to do that second thing.
Sure.
So just record that you took 2 strain, and you did how much? 11 damage to him.
Yeah.
Here's the nice thing: is even though you didn't target everyone that was in there, stormtroopers are minions, so they share one kind of pool of health.
Oh, gotcha.
So you did 11 points of damage. The stormtrooper's armor, I believe, is 5. Yeah, which means 11 gets 1 and the part of 2. So there's 2 stormtroopers. One of them kind of Wilhelm scream, you know. Oh shit! I forgot to tell you guys. Fuck! I downloaded a Star Wars soundboard as well.
Oh, nice.
Unfortunately, I don't think it has the Wilhelm scream on it. But
What's the other scream? Is Wilhelm scream and there's another scream.
There's a Howie scream.
Howie
I
scream.
don't know if it's in Star Wars. It might be.
Oh, I don't know. The only one I recognize is the Wilhelm.
How does that one go?
I love the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah.
Classic.
Well, anyway, so what do you call it? He is. There is the explosion, which where is it? That's really not. I got to turn my. There, guys.
Nice.
Nice.
Fortunately, it's an extraordinarily low rate of fire. Okay.
Howie scream. Might be in Star Wars.
Okay, so Neil steps forward, tosses a grenade. This explosion goes off, and one of these slightly gray suited stormtroopers goes flying up. Another one smashes against the wall, but is still standing. Next up is Oscara. What are you doing?
Well, he's got a quick draw, so that thing's already out.
Okay.
And then he is going to take an outline medium range.
You are at medium range, yes.
So I will I'll take you straight. I'll take cover and move in closer.
Nice.
If possible, like behind the bar or
Well,
something.
oh yeah, quick drops for free. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, there was that sort of like those tables or whatever that were separated the upper level from the lower level.
Okay.
So you could jump up there and kind of
Boink. There we
nice.
go.
Okay.
And I'll blast one of those buggers.
Go ahead.
All right. So I get 2 yellows, 2 greens.
And it is because you moved in. It's only 1.
1 difficulty.
Yep. And there's 1 black because of the smoke and shit.
1 black because of the smoke and shit. All right.
I'll get ready for my stormtroopers
Here
here.
we go. It's time for a dead stormtrooper. Ba-boom, what do we got here? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes, 2 advantages. Make it 4 successes and 1 advantage.
Wow. Okay. So what? How much damage does your what do you call it do?
It does 9 plus success symbol rolled.
What's a blaster carbine too, right?
It's a blaster carbine. That's
nice.
Right.
Okay. Cool.
And it could hit on 3 advantages. Which
So that's same kind of thing that Boba Fett uses.
Wow, that's like 14. Yeah, so that's 14 damage.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get up there and start opening up on the stormtroopers. You fucking hate these guys. 3 of them drop. Wait, no, hold on. 5 leaves. Sorry, 2 of them drop. So you pound. The other 2 remaining ones from that one. What do you call it? From that one group. There are in total 9 of them. Well, there are now 6 of them. Also, I forgot, because you guys both got advantage, what you can spend 1 advantage on is giving a blue to someone else.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So maybe what that did is help clear away some of the, it helped clear some of the, what do you call it? The particles in the air. Okay. So next up is the stormtroopers. So there are 2 groups of stormtroopers that are left. One of them is going to open fire on you, Oscara, because you're a fucking scary man. So they get that, and one difficulty, and one black from your cover, and one black from the what do you call it? From the stuff in the air.
Okay.
So we got let's see, that cancels out. They got 1, 2 successes and an advantage. So you take you take 10 points of damage.
Ooh, motherfucker.
So these guys are open. No, sorry, they're on carbine. So yeah, it is. So it's 10 points of damage. Okay, and then the other ones will open up. Actually, you kill, I think, because you're the closest thing
I could take
to them. So open up. Here we go. And they got. Let's see here. That cancels. That cancels. They got 1 success. So you take 10 points of damage. Remember to subtract your soak from whatever damage you take, and then record the rest as wounds. So the urban assault stormtroopers are going in and blasting away. They've got little lights on the side of their head that are illuminating forward.
Does my cover add difficulty then?
It did. That was the extra block.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, it's either Vendry, Dash, or Pash. Who wants it?
I'll take it. Can I get a more clear description of the layout of this? Like, are they coming through the area that our speeders were in?
Yes, they sort of walked right past there.
Right.
Quark, what I will quickly say is the what do you call it? That Abednego guy. Ilko quickly says to you, "Did you park in the front?"
I think we kind of did. Yeah.
He says, "Good." He hits this thing, and there's this massive explosions that rock the outside of the cantina. So, a good chunk, not the ones that are in the cantina, but a good chunk of the other ones out there were dealt with by his placed explosives.
Nice.
Great. And our bikes are dead, too.
No, around. That's why he asked.
Oh, I see.
So not
okay, I'd like to activate my my jammer.
Yep.
So it says here, if I want to do that, I have the difficulty to counteract the jammer depends on how close you are to the jammed comm link.
Okay. So you're trying to jam their immediate comms, right?
Yeah, I just don't want reinforcements showing up.
You got it. Okay. So yeah, effectively the so that they're cut off. Whatever is sort of within, say, like 2 or 3 block radius, they're not going to be able to activate their comms.
Okay, so I think we should try and kill these guys and then get out of here.
Okay. So either Dash or Pash.
Yeah, Pash will go. Kev?
Yep.
Yeah, Pash will go first.
Okay, so what's he going to do? So you have 6 stormtroopers left in sort of like urban assault armor who are at the front of the cantina. There's, for you guys, there's the upper sort of raised platform. Both Kale and Oscara have run forward and taken positions to start taking some of the stormtroopers out. And Oscara and Kale have both been clipped by blaster fire.
Is it a 1-floor building or?
Don't stop humping Steve. Sorry,
You crazy dog, you're not even a boy.
you're a girl. Be a lady. Hey.
Act submissive, Steve.
Do not go limp.
They can spell fear.
She loves you.
Evidently.
Sorry, Dave. What were you doing?
Is it a kind of a single floor building?
Yes, it is.
Is there anything to hide behind?
Directly in front of you are sort of 2 like tables and sort of like dividers or whatever that separate the upper level from the lower level.
Okay.
And Oscara has taken cover behind one of them with his blaster rifle. Or his
Pash will take cover behind the other one.
Nice. Okay. So it'll be a maneuver to get to it, a maneuver to take cover. Do you want to suffer 2 strain so you can take an action as well?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. What are you doing?
You know what? I'll aim for the stormtrooper that's paying the least attention at Pash's general direction.
Okay, nice. Cherry picking. It wasn't me, it was him. Go ahead and make your attack. It's a medium range, and because you two, you and potentially Emmy, just push her off. Hey, knock it off. Hey, jackass, what are you doing? Cut it out. She does that to you every time.
Not that before, but that's
Remember when you were sitting on the floor when we were playing BattleTech and she kept trying to mount you?
fair enough.
Jackass. Emmy, be a jerk. Don't be a jerk.
Play. Watch wrestlers.
Okay, so sorry. It is because there are both Orin and Steve's guys gave blues to people. You two guys can use them. So
Okay.
one of them is actually distracted by the concussive blast of Kale's grenade. So you get a blue. They are at medium range, but unfortunately there is still that the sort of the residue of their blast. So you get a black to it as well. So short range is one purple, one black from the shit in the air, and one blue from the concussive stunning effect.
Sounds good. Well, it's a failure, but advantage.
Nice. Okay. So what would you like to give the advantage to? Nice.
Who's ready to fire next? Oh,
I'm sure you can shoot as well.
yeah. I'll give my advantage to Dash.
Okay, so you can get both there, Brent.
Awesome.
You get the benefit of being last up, so you get 2 blues to whatever your action is.
Okay. On account of being poorly armed, what I will do is draw my itty-bitty holdout pistol. I will charge in, and while the stormtroopers are sort of off, I will fire. And I think
Nice.
I will use
So
2 maneuvers, shot, and cost me 2 strain.
okay. So this is a really impressive. We've got an opening thing of a grenade, then a blaster carbine that rocks down 2 stormtroopers, then a blaster pistol, now a holdout blaster.
It goes in descending order of coolness.
Yes. If Pash was a less sensitive guy, he may point out to you that they make them for boys as well.
Okay, so
Short range,
from a move. Okay, so what range am I at?
you were at medium. If you're moving up, so you can shoot. Are you shooting from where you are?
No, unfortunately, a holdout's only got a range of short. That's
Ah,
why I need to spend an action to move.
oh, a maneuver to move.
Yeah, sorry, a maneuver to move.
Okay.
So does that a maneuver moves you 1 range band or 2?
That's right. Yeah. To move from short to medium or medium to short, yes, it's 1. From medium
Okay.
to long is 2.
Okay, so I will move to short range.
Okay.
And I guess it would be a maneuver. Is it incidental or maneuver to draw a weapon?
It is a maneuver unless you
So
have
that's
the
my second, and then the third to shoot.
Okay. So you suffer 2 strain.
The action to shoot.
Yeah, you suffer 2 strain.
Okay, and it's at short range. What's the difficulty?
The difficulty is 1 purple.
Doesn't Ilko get a turn?
Ilko did. He set off those explosives.
Oh, right.
FYI, Brent,
Yeah.
your current nickname, if needed, is Small-Wanded Wizard.
Nice.
You better be nice to Oddball.
Well, I mean, it could be no wand wizard.
I got 1 hit and 3 advantage.
1 hit, 3 advantage. Okay. 3 advantage could be spent. Actually, Brenna, isn't that your critical level, or is it 4?
The crit on this is unfortunately 4.
Ah, so you can't do that. You want to gain +1 again for range defense?
Yes, that would be awesome since I've just charged stormtroopers with a little tiny pistol.
Nice. You keep as small a profile as you can with your tiny, tiny little blaster.
Like, "Phew!" And the Stormtrooper, I got 1 success, so that's 6 points.
Okay, so you got his attention.
Nice.
One Stormtrooper is shot, and he goes,
Is
hey!
Stroke above or lower than 6?
Fortunately, the Stormtrooper's armor has a soak of 5, so
I hurt him a bit. It's like a bee sting.
he's like, I just polished that. Okay, top of the round, it's Oddball. What are you doing?
Oddball reaches into his own form, and what sort of looked like a part of him to everyone else, all of a sudden he pulls it out of himself, and you realize it's a stun grenade, and he throws it at the Stormtroopers.
Hey,
Awesome.
someone just charged into the Stormtroopers, just saying.
Did Oddball move up last turn or not?
No, he did not.
So he's still at medium range, which means he needs a maneuver to pull it, a maneuver to move into short range, and then a maneuver to throw.
Well, who did you say is in range?
No one is.
Oh, I
No,
thought
no.
Brent said someone moved in range.
Oh, I'm in short range of the Stormtroopers.
He wanted you to run in and set it off, like suicide bomb it.
Well, I just don't
No.
in the range. I don't want to get caught in the range of a grenade. Or the
Well, I can move up.
You know, it's not. That's not the way. You have to be engaged in order to actually have the grenade target you.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah. So unless you're planning on like hugging them while shooting them with your teeny blaster, then you're fine.
Okay, so if I move up, then what does it cost me?
It costs you. So again, it would be an extra maneuver. So it means you suffer 2 strain. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I'll do it. He suffers the strain.
So maybe you wrench it out of you, and there's kind of sparks coming.
Yeah. So what's the difficulty then?
Difficulty is 1 purple. The
Okay.
particulates have cleared now, so there's no other penalties.
The result is a success and 2 advantages.
Success and 2. Oh, nice. So 2 advantage is let's see here. You can give a blue to an allied character's next check. You can add a black to the targeted character's next check. So you can try and fuck up the Stormtrooper's shot. Or you could perform an immediate free maneuver but you've already taken 2 maneuvers, so you can't do that.
No. Well, so what about the black? Like, it's a grenade. Does it affect multiple characters?
Yes, remember Stormtroopers are minions too. So effectively, it means that the Stormtroopers, you do you have 2 advantage?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, fuck. 2 advantage is what you need to trigger most weapon abilities. Your grenade one means that the grenade will target all of the Stormtroopers then.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Basically,
Yeah.
one whole group of 3 of them will be targeted. How many successes?
Just a single success.
No success, so what's the damage on your grenade?
I don't know, Kev, you didn't record any of my weapon information.
Oh, shit, sorry. Fucking Bush League DM.
That's okay, you have the book, so I don't know.
What are you fighting with? A stun grenade?
Yeah, it's a stun grenade, if anyone else
How about a
has
stun
it on
grenade
there.
Here it says inflict a critical injury for 3 advantage. Blast 8. What?
Yes, it does 8 damage.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, what Blast 8 means is that you can spend 2 advantage to trigger it. Basically, all 3 Stormtroopers in that thing are hit with the same effect. So all of them are rocked by it.
But didn't you have 3 advantage?
Sorry?
No, I only had 2.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so so they're they're on their last legs thanks to that. Next up is Kale. What are you doing?
Oh, sweet. Can I use my heavy blaster rifle at shorter than long range, or can I?
Long is the maximum range.
Okay,
That's it. Yeah.
cool.
So you can spin a maneuver to get that sucker out.
Yeah, I'll just start blasting away.
Nice. And you're at short range already, so it's only 1 purple is difficulty.
Cool.
There's no other penalties.
Mess them up.
Got 1 advantage, 2 hits.
Nice. Okay. So the 1 advantage, you can give a blue to someone else,
Cool.
or you can recover 1 strain.
I'll give someone else a blue.
Okay. Who'd like to give it to? Next up will be actually Oscara.
Sure, you can have an advantage.
Alrighty.
Okay, so you're.
damage.
How much damage do you do?
10 plus success,
Holy
so I
shit.
get to do 12 to somebody.
12. Okay, so actually,
Bam.
what happens is, Oddball, you toss your stun grenade in. There's that blue pulse that kind of scatters them, and it basically lines them up like skeet, like 3 blasts from Kale's heavy blaster, and these 3 are down. So there's only 3 stormtroopers remaining, and they seem to be sort of startled by the uncanny accuracy of our Alderaanian. What are you doing? So you get a blue
I get a blue, baby.
to your next roll.
All right.
Half trick.
Yeah.
I, slavering at the mouth, hungry for Imperial Stormtrooper blood.
Yep.
Take careful aim and blow these buggers.
Nice.
Behind my
So it'll be 2 blues then, and you get no blacks in the roll.
All right, 2 blues, no black, 1 purple.
You got it.
Short range.
Yep.
Oh boy. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Big money. This is what I do for a living, baby. Papa needs some shoes. Come on. All right, we've got. Oh, look at that. So we'll just cancel those 2 out. Blam. So we got
Holy shit.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Holy crap.
Advantage is 2 successes, which means I could do like 1 critical injury, 2 critical injuries.
You could do
Inflict a critical injury hit for 3.
3.
So can I do 2?
Yep,
So I can do 2
absolutely.
critical hits.
They're minions though, so they die with the critical hits. You kill 2 of them, and then you do enough damage to kill the 3rd. So basically, so in the beginning of second round of combat, Oddball softens him up with it. Then Kale quickly recovers from being shot. Bam! Drops down 3, and not to be outdone, also after being shot, Oscara whips his blaster carbine out and quickly drops the remaining 3
Who drown in their own blood.
who drown in their own
I
blood.
feel
Yeah.
inadequate with my blaster.
That- you,
6 PCs is a dangerous party, by the way.
well, you guys dropped 9 stormtroopers.
That was a lot, actually.
Okay.
In a round and a half.
Yeah.
So they're all down?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to pick up one of their larger blasters from the
They're-
ground.
What do you like? One of their heavy blasters, or
Yeah.
is all they're carrying around blaster rifles, which use heavy blaster skill, or the heavy range skill.
That's fine. It looks like it'd be more effective right now than what I'm using.
Okay. So you grab that, and now that the mayhem has finished, or the blaster bolts have finished flying around, Lore Santeca gets up and says, "Perhaps it is time for me to make my leave."
Kev, Oddball is running diagnostics on what happened to himself.
Okay, he's able to quickly identify what happened.
Okay. And before Lord leaves, I'll approach him and say, there's some information I wish to pass you, and just give him a heads up about my master's master, just as an FYI.
Oh, so okay. He says, "I knew that the Emperor has had to have assistance from some in eliminating the. He had to have some inside assistance in order to fully eliminate the Order, or to erase as much of its existence as he has. Thank you." And
Be buried.
you remind me, too, please, I have, where is it? Ilko. Where did I leave that? And Ilko kind of grunts and turns over this little, like, plastic kind of box thing. It looks like it's got 2 little things on the bottom. And he hands it over to Lore, and he says, turns and he looks at you, and he says, "Please, this is a gift for the princess. A friend, so you can open it if you like." And what you kind of, your eyes grow wide, and you can't help but say out loud, you're like, "Ginger bells." Ginger bells are a flower that is unique to Alderaan. So you kind of get this look, and he says, "I have a friend on the Outer Rim who is a quite proficient botanist. He kindly donated these, and if you could bring these to the princess." I believe that they will find fertile ground in New Alderaan.
Nice. He starts to get kind of misty-eyed for a minute, and then he's like, they're going to be sending more stormtroopers. We got to get back to the ship.
Nice. Awesome.
Hey, Kevin.
Okay. Yeah.
Does Oddball know that Darth Vader is involved in this?
What do you mean, like in?
Well, you said that like the information that I read triggered something that Vader himself had set.
Yes. Yes. You know that the Dark Wizard or the Black Wizard.
Yeah. Okay. So then immediately Oddball walks over to Lore, and he puts his hand on him and he says, "The Black Wizard is aware of our meeting. Please be careful, my friend."
He says, this is likely his attention towards me. He, more than any, has been the nemesis of the Jedi. But, and he turns to you, Dash. He says, we will, with our efforts, we will succeed. For there is no death. There's only the Force.
Can I go to the entrance and just like get out my electro goggles and just see that there's no one else coming?
You get there and you see the sort of destruction that was wrought by Ilko's trap that he set. There is actually a series of sort of wrecked speeder bikes. There are a series of sort of either dead or kind of moaning in the brackish water, injured stormtroopers. But you also, when you don't see it, but you sort of put it down and cock your head to the side, you can hear the familiar sound of the engines of speeder bikes coming through somewhere in the in the tunnels.
All right, we got to get out of here, guys.
Before Oddball lets go of Lore's sort of cloak or whatever he's wearing, he just says to him, he says, "Do not face the Black Wizard. He does not lose." And then he lets him go.
Nice. Okay. So, does anyone else have anything they want to do? Or are you guys mounting up and getting the fuck out of here?
Get out of here.
Okay. Vendrine, as you sort of get ready to go. Oh, sorry, Brent, what were you going to say?
The carbines the stormtroopers have, do they have any, like, I don't know, like strap or something to stow them over the shoulder, or are they just free?
Yeah, it's not a carbine, Brent, it's a rifle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a full, like, rifle. Yeah. Okay. So I'll throw it over my shoulder for now, I guess, and then I'll figure something out later.
Okay. As you guys are leaving Vendry, Ilko kind of stops, and kind of, and he says, take care of yourself. And he hands you something. He says, "This will help."
What is it? A stim pack?
No, it is a frag grenade.
Oh, nice. Can I write that down on my sheet here?
You can, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Actually, Corey, you just look at Brent and you just say, "Hey, Brent, write that down on my sheet."
Yeah. Keeper of the Hall.
Make him earn that 5 XP.
You guys can just email me this shit at the end of the session. I don't want to go through it all.
Okay.
What? Write notes.
I write notes, so.
I've got notes. I've got character notes.
So you guys all, what do you call it? Lore makes sure that you guys take the holodisc that has the image of the holocron on it, to make sure you can make your introductions to Asher.
Did you give me the holocron or just the image of the holocron?
No, it's an image of the holocron, Brandon. So I was saying, like, he doesn't have a holocron. He doesn't have one. He's got an image of one that has the the details and particulars of the outside, and the only thing they know is that the name of the Jedi who created it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they don't have the contents of it or anything like that.
Okay, sorry, I misunderstood.
That's okay. Okay, so if you guys have nothing else to do, you're going to hop on your bikes. The howling of them coming down, I'm going to say that you're able to, thanks to Vendry's, what do you call it, quick thinking with the jammer, you're able to sort of, take off, and even if they did see you, they're not able to really coordinate their response, so you're able to quickly lose them in the deep tunnels of Terrace. It doesn't take long for you to get to the up to the surface, and you guys finally manage to maneuver your way back to where the Crate Fang is parked. As you come, roaring up, Balco comes out and says, "Pash, you're back?"
Why do you sound so surprised?
Well, he looks over and he sees that the limping Weequay kind of, sheepishly puts his prunish face down. The other Weequays are like, kind of like shoving him around. He says, just never really thought that much of your piloting skills.
Hey, Kev, I see what's going on, like, from the limping guy that we recognized from before. What's going on with him now?
Do you see the two of you who rolled the what do you call it? Those triumphs. It was you and was it Oscara? Who's the one who rolled the other one?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. So you two recognize that he's the one who tried to kill Pash.
I have an idea. I would like to make a perception check just to see if he has anything at all on his person, and then if he does, I will try and make a skullduggery check and then give it to Pash later on.
Okay, if you do that, I'm going to give you one conflict. That's
Okay.
a very Jedi thing to do. That's stealing from someone just for being a dick. So you can do that, but you're going to get a conflict, and you may get dark side points at the end of the session.
Well, what if I pull out my blaster and stick it in his little snout and said, "That wasn't a very nice trick you pulled earlier. I think we should dock a little bit off of our price here."
Okay.
I agree with that. I can't do something, but yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. So much as you're struggling internally with that, Brent, what do you call it? You see the big Twi'lek takes things in his own hands and walks right up and puts his carbine in this thing's face. He kind of, he's feigning ignorance. And Balco says, "Hey, you can't manhandle my crew. Pash, control your men."
Your man tried to kill one of ours.
Well, Pash, you started it. You tried to kill him.
I'll turn to Falcon and I'll be like, "Hey, look, you said I never had any friends, and now look."
Look, Pash, we're racers. We know that rubbing is racing. It just happens. No harm.
All right. Here, I'll tell you what, Falco. Look, so, some of your swoop bikes blew up. Nobody knows how that happened. You've got, quite obviously, a shitty mechanic there. You know what? Maybe we'll just give each other the benefit of the doubt and say, your mechanic lost all your money for you. We're even.
He's kind of glowering, and he's actually, you know what? Can you guys all make perception checks for me, please?
Indubitably.
What's the difficulty?
The difficulty is going to be hard. 3 purples. I just got to take a piss.
Wait,
Can
what
I
are we
spend a
rolling?
light side point to get a better perception going on here?
So what are we doing? Perception?
Yeah, I want to do a light side point to give myself an advantage here.
Yeah, you've got it.
No, that is not going to do it. No,
Oh, sweet. I did.
Ugh, bro.
Against how many was it, purples?
So while Kev's peeing, I just wanted to say that I rewatched Force Awakens for the second time,
Yeah.
I've now decided I really love the movie. I think it might be the best Star Wars movie that
Whoa! I haven't seen it yet.
Seriously, it's awesome. It's really good. I don't know. What are you gonna argue that's better? I don't know.
How can J.J. Abrams make such a stinker in Star Trek and then do that? I don't know. Good for him.
I don't know. I just think the movie's awesome.
I think it was a fun movie, but if you stop to think about how anything happens, it doesn't fucking make any sense.
Yeah, that's.
What, as opposed to all the other Star Wars movies, which are like completely logical?
No, but at least in the other one, they worked for the Death Star plans, and the janitor didn't show up and go, "Hey, if you don't have to work for it." Like the whole like Rogue One plot is about getting those plans. This one, it's like, oh yeah, I was like the janitor there.
Oh yeah, because you mean the start of Episode 4, where they just start with the plans in their possession?
Okay.
So I don't know.
All right, so
I want
to spend a light side point. Am I against 4 purples here?
Your difficulty?
Yeah.
No, yeah, difficulty is what did I say?
Three purples.
3 purples.
3 purples, and I've got. I wanted to spend a light side point to give myself advantage here.
Yeah, so you upgrade one of your greens to a yellow.
Okay. And.
So Brent first.
Whoa.
1 success.
Brent, how'd you do, Brent?
1 success.
Okay.
Dave?
2 advantage.
Okay. Pork?
1 failure, 3 advantage.
Okay.
That is exactly what I got. 1 failure, 3 advantage.
Steve-O?
3 threats.
3 threats. 4?
Holy shit.
3 threat.
3 success, 3 threat. So Kale, you're sort of you can see that in the little Toydarian's hand, he's got one of his little paws at the side, and he's kind of like you see his thumb rhythmically going into something.
Oh man. How many actions can I take here?
What would you like to do?
How close am I? Like within grabbing range?
Yeah, you can easily.
Okay, I'm gonna try to like grapple him. Is there like?
Sure. Yeah, it's unarmed or brawling.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a brawling check against. Actually, Willie's always two purples. So.
Cool.
But I will give you a blue because he does not have any idea what's happening here.
Excellent.
I never thought we'd be fighting this guy.
Alright, I got 1 success and no
That's it. Okay, that's enough. Okay, so you kind of yank it out of his hand. He's like, "What? What are you doing? Pash! What are you, man? Control!" And you look down. It's an Imperial comm.
Ah, crap.
And it's been on.
Have I still been jamming this stuff?
Yes. But he's been still trying to, I guess, activate this thing.
Okay. So I'm just gonna say, I've been jamming this.
I think we got a problem here.
Balco looks and he's like, "I don't know what happened. What are you doing? You put that on me."
Oddball immediately steps on it.
Okay.
As soon as he sees the Imperial comm.
Yeah, so you knock it out of Kale's hand and crunch. What are you guys doing? We got Twi'lek with a black
Who's covered in
carbine.
blood, by the way.
Yeah, it's true.
I think I'm going to start, if you don't mind, just blasting up a little bit of the stealth.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and be intimidating. I won't do anything, but I'll strap the giant rifle, point it at him, and ask, "So Pash, what should we do with him?"
I'm gonna keep my hold on him.
Okay. So you got him, and he's like, trying to flap away. Okay.
Well, Oddball looks at everyone and he says, "He is Imperial scum, or sorry, he is Empire scum. He needs to be dealt with."
Pash will look at Falco and ask him straight up. So Falco, what is your life worth right now?
Holy shit.
What are you, Pash? What are you doing? I'm not an Imperial. Look at me. Do I look like a stormtrooper to you?
How do you explain that then?
He does look very little like a stormtrooper.
It's a rat to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say to the group, we don't have time for this. Let's get ready to take off. Get the ship ready to
As
take
soon
off.
as he says that, Oddball is like, "Oh fuck!" and he grabs the drive out of his pocket that he broke, and he runs into the ship.
Okay. So as he runs in this ship, what are you guys? The rest of you doing?
You know what? We're gonna secure Falco. I'm gonna get Dash, Kale, Sana's, and Oddball's help in securing them. And we're just gonna I'm gonna rob him blind.
Yeah, good call.
Okay.
I help.
Oddball is fixing the ship. He has no time to assist you.
Vendry is running into the ship, and he's going to climb into one of the gun turrets and just, get ready to if there's any TIE fighters or something that shows up.
Okay, that's not a bad idea. Where there are stormtroopers, there are often TIE fighters.
FYI, I have gunnery now. I improved my gunnery.
So here's another good. Well, the Crate Fang has 2 gunnery areas, or 2 gunnery turrets. Sorry guys, I'm sticking one thing here.
Yeah, maybe I can go saddle up.
Okay.
I'm gonna be in the top turret.
Okay.
I'll be in the bottom turret.
Kev, you want me to roll against the same difficulty that I selected when I was sabotaging the ship?
Say again?
Do you want me to roll mechanics against the same difficulty that I was selecting when I was trying to sabotage the ship?
Yes, but you're going to get 2 blacks as well.
Okay.
The complication. Okay. Brent? Sorry, what I was looking for, Brent, you've gained 2 conflict from threatening with violence.
Okay.
And
Read.
You will gain 1 more conflict if you allow them to rob this guy blind.
Okay. I'm going to continue to pretend and look stand and look intimidating, but I will talk to Pash about, yeah, he did betray us, but just maybe take something that would, as a consequence, but don't don't overdo it. Don't take all of. He still has to survive and stuff.
Okay, so guys, Dash is trying to sort of talk sense into you guys. How does that fall on your characters?
I'm more interested in getting information. I have decent coercion. Can I try to intimidate him into talking?
Yeah, that's actually exactly what coercion is. Coercion is essentially this game's intimidate skill.
Cool.
I'm gonna rage.
Yeah. So you're blasting away so you're just kind of blasting away in the shop.
Yeah, and I'll also go saddle up in the gunnery case. So I'll blast a few things.
And then you run inside K.
Yeah.
And then you go, what are you trying to get out of him?
I want to understand what his relationship is to the Empire. Did they approach him?
Sure. Okay, then the difficulty then is going to be his discipline. So it'll be 1 red, 1 purple. Sorry, Vendry's gone inside the ship, so has Oddball, which means it's really only Pash you have to convince to not rob. Pash, what's your response to Dash's plea?
You know what? Pash will turn to Dash and say to him, "Look, I'm a smuggler. I smuggle. If you want souvenirs, you can keep the souvenirs. This guy would have turned our lives in for what? For out of vengeance? You know what? The way I figure it, he owes us."
Agreed. I'm not disagreeing with you, but we don't want to.
I'm glad we agreed then.
No.
Pash will just keep going.
Okay, and I put my hand on his shoulder, but we don't want another enemy. If we got the Imperials after us, if you rob him blind, he's going to hold a huge grudge. He might forgive you taking a speeder or something like that, but not if you take everything.
Listen to the kid. You don't want me as an enemy. Go ahead and make your roll. So Kale's trying to intimidate him.
We got 2 successes and a threat.
And a threat, okay. So I'm going to say you suffer 1 strain just from front of, what threat it can translate into is I can just translate it into strain for you instead. Yeah. So what do you say to him?
Did the Empire contact you? How did they know we would be here?
No, I didn't do anything. They just showed up and we're asking about some lord.
Then where are they now?
Well, he kind of looks up, and you think you can see, very faint off in the distance, some black H's.
Yeah. I run into the ship.
Okay, so suddenly, Kale basically throws him out of the way and goes running inside the ship. So it's just Dash and Pash out there right now arguing.
Okay, so I'll turn to Falco and say,
you know his name's Balco, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's like Balco, not Falco.
Okay.
After you said that, I was picturing that fucking '80s singer.
Falco is from like the Nintendo game. Like Captain Falco is a Nintendo character.
He's in a box.
Okay, so anyway, what I'll do is tell him Dash is going to take a speeder, then you are equal. Do not. This is all I can do to restrain his wrath. Do not come after us. Your debts are settled.
Right, you're still gonna get
Well, I'm trying to come up with a compromise from like.
You are, and the thing. This is part of the. I think the fun of playing a Jedi is that this is the sort of the razor's edge you walk
because there's no way I can convince Dash, or at least.
No. This is honestly this is all good shit though, Brent. Like this is, I think that's great. Like you are getting a conflict for it, but that's the way it goes. We'll have to see how it how it pans out at the end.
I'm going to tilt the turret gun towards the action there.
Okay.
Hey, Kev.
So there's one of the big guns from the bottom of the crate. What do you call it? Crate Fang turns towards you guys. Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, Kev. Can you just clarify for us and the viewers at home how conflict works for Jedi?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so the way Star Wars, all three of the Star Wars games have different sort of story mechanics that are built into the game. We didn't use them this game because we were still sort of figuring out what everyone was playing, and I wanted to get a full session, and we've got a lot of players tonight. Normally what you do is everyone has some kind of story thing. If they are an Edge of Empire type character, then like a Fringer or a Smuggler or a Pirate or whatever, or Explorer, they would have an obligation, which can be anything from an obligation to like a debt they owe to a crime boss, or a life debt they've sworn to someone, or a family obligation, or whatever. If they are with the Rebellion, from the Age of Rebellion game, then they have a duty to the Rebellion that can come up in play, and those can be like Oddball has got a duty of sabotage. He needs to sabotage things against the Empire. And what the Jedi get is an ability. They don't have really something that is specifically the same. They've got something called morality. And what happens is when Jedi are confronted, light side characters at least, are confronted with actions that are potentially morally dubious, either by themselves or by their companions, they can gain conflict. And at the end of each session, what you do is you roll a 10-sided dice, and you see how far off that is from the conflict. If you roll below the conflict, then you lose that much morality. So if you, for instance, Brent's character's got 3 right now. If at the end of the session he rolls a 1, that means he loses 2 points of morality. If, on the other hand, he rolls a 7, he gains 4 points of morality.
That's cool.
So it moderates how your characters act. And then when you are a light side paragon, if you're at 70 or higher morality, there are benefits you get. And if you've kind of dipped into the dark side, there are benefits you get. So extremes get sort of a benefit for their morality. But what I will be doing for the purpose of this game, though, is likely stacking that with either a duty or an obligation. And the reason is because what you do is at the start of each session, in addition to whatever the ongoing story is, like you guys are trying to seek out, or now you're going to meet with Asher Sungazer, what we would do is we would roll. I would create a table that has everyone's obligation and duty and whatever on it, and their morality. And then if your thing came up, if the band of your obligation or your thing came up, then that would also be a factor in the session. So, like, let's say, for instance, Vendry has got, let's say he's got an obligation to recruit, right? Well, then what happened is that as you guys are showing up on Ariadu, the rebellion also says, you know what? There's actually a prominent industrialist who has got fed up with getting robbed blind by the rebellion or by the Empire. He wants to support the rebellion. So you need to, in addition to doing what other shit you're doing there, Vendry, go and meet this guy and convince him to join the rebellion or support the rebellion. So that's, I think, is that's the way the Jedi personally work, which I think is very cool and very Jedi-like.
Yeah, that's good. Cool. I just wanted a clarification for everyone.
Sure. Yeah. And then for what we'll do is between now and next session, I will get that table. So next session we will have that thing where it may be
roll for everyone's duty and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you all roll on the same table, and if it happens to hit in your band, there are also benefits to it because, like, if it happens to be like your time to shine, your wound threshold goes up by 1, and your strain threshold goes up by 1. So
right, it's like your episode.
Agonist kind of.
Sort of, yeah. It becomes an episode that features on your character,
cool.
right?
I like that.
And then
Yeah, that's awesome. I really like it.
Me too, and because just one of the improv aspect of this game is one of the things I love the most, and that's a really neat kind of like a neat way to sort of constantly shake up the story by adding something a little new to it.
Okay, cool. You can continue now. I just wanted to clarify that, and so that people understood what was being added to Brent's session.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate that. That's for all you guys too. If there's shit that isn't clear or that you'd like explained a little better, I'm more than happy to pause the action to do that. What we have right now is back to our scene. We have Kale has just run off the landing platform into the Crate Fang. We have only Pash and Dash and Balco left out there with the Weequays kind of, having taken cover behind things when Oscara went blaster crazy inside the shop. Pash, you are now the proud owner of a swoop.
Well, actually, as soon as Pash followed Balco's gaze and kind of noticed what he had noticed, not only is he going to take the swoop, but he's actually going to kind of pilfer his headquarters.
You're rummaging through his shit?
Yeah, like he's basically pulling out all the most expensive stuff that he thinks that he'll be able to turn a profit on.
Okay. Going in there.
Dash will be trying to tell him that we don't have time for this and there are TIE fighters coming in.
So as you're going in there, just because this is, it's Star Wars, you get in there and you're sort of like rummaging around and you hit something and it's this, it rumbles for a second, then comes up and it's a little hollow thing. And what it is a bikini-clad Weequay woman, kind of woo.
Here's your loot, dude. Let's go.
What they say about Weequay women.
Where there's not fucking nudie mags and shit posted up everywhere. So,
you know what?
Is there any kind of like crust on this thing?
That's why it's kind of flickering.
Purple crust.
It's used to being held very tightly in one hand.
Oh God.
I give up.
I can't help. If you know what a Weequay's face looks like, what must?
Is that the guy that flies? That's like a co-pilot for Lando?
No, that's a Celestin. That's Neil Nub. No, the Weequay are the prune-faced guys who shove Luke into the Sarlacc.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch it again.
Hey, Kev.
Yeah.
Dash is going to give up on Pash, and he's going to. I can fly. I know enough to get the ship running. I'm going to go to the cockpit, so we're not at least turn the thing on and like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Caleb never mentioned that he saw TIE fighters coming in.
Oh, so is Dash unaware of this as well, or is he aware?
Yeah, Dash and Pash, you guys are like, oh, come on, blah, blah, blah. So you know what I'm gonna say is because you guys, yeah.
We can't even communicate because I'm jamming.
Oh fuck! Yes, that's right. So you guys are sort of not until you hear hold on, soundboard.
Nice.
Hey, Kev.
Kev, Pash isn't actually arguing. He's actively looting.
Looting, and then this is sort of this is what you hear, and then you kind of do a, oh fuck, I know that sound.
You're gonna get left behind on this planet, man.
Pash,
Hey, Kev.
so there are 3 of these things that scream right across the bow, basically like across the top of the Crate Fang.
I'm gonna run for the cockpit.
Okay, so you're racing through. What I'd like, let's see here. Jeff, how did Oddball do on his roll?
Wait, hold on. Before we cut there, when you cut to the scene of Oddball and the engine compartment that he trashed earlier, it is like the exact opposite of what he did. Like when he walked in and he's like, I can wreck this thing, and he just sort of ripped it out.
Yeah.
Instead, now he like has his scanner running. He's checking the computer. He's sliced into the Crate Fang's computers, and he's checking it out. He's downloading like the schematics of the ship. He is like doing a good job instead of a like, oh yeah, I can wreck this thing. It's the opposite. He's very focused. He's trying to repair the ship correctly.
Nice.
Is there any way that you could use your body to actually become part of the ship to fix it?
Just merge with it.
Well, he's a little bit merged with it at the moment.
Okay. So, how did you do in your roll?
Okay, so for the roll.
You good girl. Get so much attention tonight.
Wow! Holy shit. Okay, I got 5 successes.
Yeah. Shit.
A threat, but also a triumph.
Nice. Okay, so I was actually going to make it take time for you to get this thing in, but what you've done, the one threat is that you basically what you did is sort of supercharge the engine, or like super prime the engine ready to go as soon as you get the hypermatter. What is it? What was it again? The hypermatter or something injector?
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. Hypermatter injector.
Whatever it was, HPM, whatever. So that thing, you get it ready to go, and then you kind of, pop it in, and the Crate Fang suffers 1 point of strain, but then it kind of like there's sparks and stuff like that, but it's kind of the whole ship springs to life. So basically, Pash, or I guess Dash sees the TIE fighters kind of go overhead, and you run inside. Pash, you kind of hear the followed by the hum of the Crate Fang's engines.
Can we start taking off with the landing ramp down and slowly like?
Yep, what do you call it? I mean, Vendry, like you're the one who's got control over the jamming. You can turn the jamming off and kind of like.
I think we'd better after hearing that.
Okay.
Hey, Kev.
Yep.
What does the triumph mean again?
Triumph is like that it is an awesome success. It counts as a success, and it also means something really, really good happened. So instead of...
the one thing I'd like to say is that it's like, I don't know, like, what's his name, that stupid alien whose ship this was?
That was Captain...
the
Trandoshan.
Trex. Yeah, Trex.
Yeah, Trex, thanks.
I'd like to say that, like, Oddball has, like, actually finally restored this thing to what it should be.
Nice. Yep.
You know, like, Trex had kind of wrecked it and screwed this up, and that's why he needed to replace this part. And when Pash had escaped, they had just sort of thrown it in there, and now Oddball has, like, fixed the ship.
Awesome.
Back to specification.
So it's not, what do you call it? He's sort of like, say what you will about the Empire, but they make the Death Stars run on time.
Yeah, exactly.
So the thing springs to life. I can't remember who's on between Vendry and Kale. Who's on the top? Who's on the bottom
I can't
turret?
remember.
I was just running into the ship.
Okay, who's in the turret? Oh, you're in the turret. Which one did you take?
Bottom.
Bottom. Okay, which means Vendry, you're on top. You want to take a shot at those TIE fighters, or you just want to let them pass over?
Well, are they aware of us yet?
You don't know actually. Like they are.
I'm going to, I'm just gonna yell over the comm. You better hurry this up.
I think you can, as an maneuver though, you can aim at them, which will give you a bonus for when you do shoot at them. Right?
Well, yeah, I'll be tracking them all the time, but
It doesn't last past your round, Brent?
Oh, okay.
Hey,
like,
Kev.
I imagine that I'm tracking with them, but I'm not going to fire on them.
Oh, okay. I think I get it now. Okay. Because I know you could get 2 maneuvers, but you spend strain to get the double bonus to hit then, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oddball heads to the cockpit to let them know that the ship is ready to fly.
Okay.
And he is like kind of like maybe arcing with some extra power from this thing, and like clearly it's affecting him. And he looks at them in the cockpit and he says, "I'd like to see a biological do that." And he's like kind of sparking with extra power.
That's awesome.
Dash looks at him and he's like, "What?" And I'm just like, I'm doing the startup procedures for the ship.
Okay. Pash, what are you doing?
You know what? I'm gonna run out as soon as I hear the sound that's probably so recognizable to me. Jump on one of the swoops.
Yep.
Hold out the holographic sphere.
Yeah.
To the Wigway and be like, "You owe me this," and I'm gonna drive the swoop onto the ship.
One of the Weequay, his hand kind of goes, and one of the other Weequays goes, mm-mm. So you roar up, and you got a what do you call this? Canvas sack full of stuff as well too. Do you have any points in ground? Oh, you're not built according to a proper character. Emmy? No, you don't need that. You don't need dice. You don't need dice, honey. So you roar up into the ship, and the what do you call it? Before the landing bay is or the landing platform is up, the ship starts rising up. Or hold on, does it, Brent?
I'll wait till he's on if I can, like, once I get the clear that he's on the ship, we're fucking taking off.
Okay. Kale, what are you doing once you get on the ship?
Are there any other stations that are...
There's engineering, there's co-piloting, there's gunnery, and that's kind of it. But you can help with any of those.
How does gunnery work?
Well, gunnery, what do you call it? They've got the two. There's only 2 spots for it, but basically what you could do is sort of spot for them if you want.
Okay.
Now, it would essentially give them a blue for it, but you could be kind of in, like Millennium Falcon, there's the 2 spots above and below. You could kind of be on one of those rings and be like, hey, look over there!
Okay. Well, I saw where the ships were, so I'll go up to the top one and be like that. Or actually, no, I'll go co-pilot and be like, I saw the things in orbit. You got to go that way. Go
Okay,
that
awesome, guys. Okay, so Kale comes up to the cockpit dash, and he's like, he points out where the TIE fighters were and where not to go.
Okay.
Okay, and Pash, once you kind of drive that thing up onto the, into the sort of one of the cargo rooms, are you just like saying go, or are you waiting to get it to the airport, to the cockpit?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as the swoop's onto the plane, I'm gonna race up to the cockpit.
When I see him do that, I'll slide from the pilot's chair to the co-pilot's chair.
Okay.
The Pash just literally jumps into the pilot's seat.
Yeah.
Pats Dash on the back and says, "Thanks for warming it up for me."
Nice.
glad that you could join us.
As you toss down onto the dashboard, the little. So like
Dash says,
Oddball looks at him and he says, "Thank God our pilot is here."
So you're in the seat now, Pash. What do you do?
Pash will actually turn and take a look at Oddball, all glowing and sparking, and look at him and just be like, Did you have sex with my ship?
Does anyone have training in astrogation?
Pash
I
has got
do.
2 dice in it.
I have 3 dice, but no training.
I got 3 green.
Anyone got yellows?
Oddball has no training.
No training, okay? So you guys need to make a calculation. If you want to make the jump to light speed, you need to make a calculation.
Don't we need to get out of the atmosphere first?
You start the. You can't make the jump to light speed until you're in out of the atmosphere and out of the, more importantly, out of the gravity well of the planet. But you can start the calculations though.
Okay, I will start. Pash, you drive. I'll start the calculations.
What's your piloting, Pash?
I've got 2 yellow and 1 green.
Okay.
Okay. So as you guys, so thanks to Kale's insight, you guys managed to sort of fly in the other direction from where the TIE fighters, not where they came from, not where they went, in a totally different direction. I would say that you're flying casual, and I'm just going to say that you were able to escape from Terrace and sort of lose yourself in the small amount of space traffic that is leaving. You get into orbit, and thanks to Oddball's terrific repairs, you're able to get up. The calculations to get your or start your way along the Hydean route or Hydean way have been plugged into the what do you call it? The nav computer. Get in there and you Dash, you're the co-pilot, so you sort of notice at first, you're like, there's a Star Destroyer in orbit. And Pash, you say, not for long. I says, oh, well, we won't be for long. And it hits the activation thing. The stars all turn into streaming straight lines, and then you guys hit into hyperspace.
Nice.
Now, the what do you call it? The scene kind of irises down to blackness, and then our camera sort of pans down. And what we see is that we're actually in a very dark room. Ominous music, which is soundtrack, not what do you call it? Not in the thing, is playing in the background. We see that there is a single robed figure sitting on a circular couch, otherwise surrounded by very, very sparse what do you call it? Furnishings, most of which are shrouded in darkness. The only real light in this room is a single weak light that has kind of a pale yellow color shining from above. The dark gray robes hold deep against this figure who sits cross-legged before a small urn, out of which rises a very thin, like kind of oily smoke. The figure then stirs, and his head comes back, and where you would expect to see first a very prominent nose and jaw, you also see two massive horns sticking out from beneath the dark gray hood. The figure rises his head up and turns as if trying to strain his ears to hear a far-off call. The figure rises, puts his hands on his hood, pulls it back, and you can see that the horns are part of one large skull, kind of structure on his skull. His skull is perfectly bald on top with these massive horns that grow out of his side tentacles at the side of his head. His eyes, his skin, I should say, is a sickly kind of oily grayish brown, and his eyes are a putrid yellow. He gets a small smirk on his face and says only 2 words. My apprentice. And then the music swells, credits roll, and that will be our session. Okay, so for those listening at home, thanks so much for joining us for the Live from the Sword Coast podcast. We will see you again in 2 weeks' time, back in a galaxy far, far away. Thanks so much for listening. See you next time.